and a high of 69 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway. Pregame right here on WTIC 1080 at 610. Yanks and Rays in Tampa. Mets host the Cards. Reese on the Radio continues next. 66 degrees sunny in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you on track for a successful retirement? Johnson Brunetti hosting a unique all-in-one event for those near
Check 1, 2.
retirement, moderated by me, Brian Shack.
Holla, holla.
JB Advisors.
All right.
CPA, estate planning
I just looked at
attorney,
the time.
and
I was
Medicare
like,
specialist.
holy crap.
Join us for dinner at the AquaTurf Club.
By the way, I got to wait till my
May 1st at 6
phone
p.m.
lines
Reservations are
reboot
required.
because
Visit
the computer decided to do a
event.jb.com to
reboot
RSVP
now.
That's event.
Oh, yeah, that'll get you.
Program
Program
update.
update.
JB Capital and JM Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital LLC. Insurance products offered through JM Financial LLC.
Some people follow
That's why I
the
always
rules,
plan those
but
things for like
where's
overnight.
the fun in that?
Yeah, they usually ask you like 4 hours
Yeah.
now, 1 hour, whatever.
Rebels, the risk takers, and the ones who make their own way. Every week, I sit down with the boldest voices in sports, entertainment, and beyond to talk about breaking barriers, defying expectations, and rewriting the rules. No limits, no apologies, just real talk. Follow and listen to Rule Breakers with Soraya, an Odyssey podcast available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
As men get older, change. We all know that. And often we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym, could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improve mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make a change for the good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio.
Reese's on the radio. Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, baby, happy Friday to you. Airing of Grievance Friday, as always, but just to add a little flavor to the day.
Yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a
night.
Yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
Yes, the incredible and also better half of Reese on the Radio will be joining the program today in the 5 o'clock hour for what I'm calling Ladies' Night. Pretty much to get some, conversation with the ladies about life, love, marriage, health, good tidings. Women have always sort of had a particular grasp on life that men do not understand, sometimes confusing. I'm often confused. And my wife tries to explain to me how her brain works. I don't get it. So I wanted to sort of have that space. We as guys, we talk about a lot of things. I'm doing the bike riding things. Guys talk to me about that. I'm into trains. A lot of that stuff is boy stuff. I kind of feel like women are somewhat ignored in this space. So for all of us guys who clearly dominate talk radio, this is an opportunity for us to understand the women in our lives. Doesn't matter how long we've been with them, 10, 20, 30, some guys 40 years. Still kind of look at their wife and go, I don't understand that woman. I don't. And it's not, again, women, it's not a slight on you. I hope that you understand that me and many others want to understand. We want to. And I don't believe in just saying, they're crazy. They're controlled by their feelings. I don't want to dismiss them. They are a core fabric of what we are. And to boot, one of the things that we're noticing today is that people can't define women. And I think this is an opportunity for us to do that, to really understand and define women. Not that they're all the same, but there are certain characteristics. Some of us, the stereotypes exist for a reason, as it were. So we'll have the wife join us in a 5 o'clock hour for ladies' night, and she doesn't know what today's topic's going to be about. I usually don't let her know, but I will let you know. I try to keep her like in a secluded booth with some noise-canceling headphones on before she comes out. We don't keep her there that long, 2 hours, just 2 hours. And she plays some of her, if there's ever a thing that I need to understand, maybe, Roland, do you ever experience this with your wife? That as a music producer that you are, Emmy winning, I might add, as a music producer that you are, do you ever look at your wife's music choices and go, what the hell inspired her to listen to that? Like, do you ever look at her and go, oh my God, that is horrible. Why does she like that? Does that ever happen to you?
No, she mainly only listens to like gospel and Broadway.
She listens to Broadway musicals.
Yeah, like musicals
Okay.
when she's driving and gospel music when she's cleaning. So
Okay. So she doesn't have like a quirky top 40 sort of selection that you kind of go, you like that song? Like that never happens to you?
No, not really. She listens to the same thing.
Every woman I've ever been in my entire life, dating or married, always had this incessant need to be attracted to top 40 trash.
Really?
Yes, my wife included. We had this big, not debate, I can't even call it an argument, but we had this big discussion once. We were on our way down to Colonial Beach in Virginia, and we were having this discussion. And the music that she was listening to was every one of the singers was a 12-year-old boy with a bird chest. It was like teenager music. And, the Chris Browns and the Lloyds. And by the way, guys, if you're listening and you don't know who any of these artists are, don't worry, you're missing nothing.
No, those are great artists.
Yeah, see, again, Trey Songz. Every one of these guys has like a skinny bird chest, and they're always singing falsetto, and they dance a lot.
Yeah, I'm the problem. I'm the weirdo that listens to all type of crazy stuff. So.
No, that's not a weirdo. That's called eclectic. That's good. That means you listen to anything and everything as long as it sounds good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But some of the music that I have my wife will be listening to in the car, and I'll go, what is this trash? What is it? And it's always, listen, I have a rule. We do not play unsanctioned music in my household. That's one. Second, if Ryan Seacrest has ever introduced it on a top 40 countdown, it cannot be played in our home. It cannot. And I don't care what the name is or who the group is, but if Ryan Seacrest has ever introduced that record on the radio, you can't play it. That's just who I am.
He introduced all the classics, man.
No, he does not. Ryan Seacrest is a top 40. Who is this? Is that her name? Sarah Carpenter? Whatever.
Yeah.
Is that her name? See, everybody seems to like her. No.
Yeah.
Music is
Billie
trash.
Eilish.
Trash. Absolute trash.
No.
All of it is trash. It is. I can't get it.
It has good melodies, great music behind it.
Okay.
The singing may not be
up to par.
Whitney Houston, but
yes, indeed. I mean, at least their music was not. Don't get me wrong. Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey's songs were trash as well. Hear me out before people start flipping out. Everybody's losing their mind right now. They're like, "What?" It was top 40 trash. I'm not saying they couldn't sing. Their music was top 40 ear garbage. It just was. It just was. All of it.
I don't know, Reese. You're going to make a lot of enemies with that.
That's fine. That's fine. But it was ear garbage. Okay? Oh, I want to dance with somebody.
Oh, man. That's a great song.
Good garbage. It was awful.
What was the Bodyguard song?
I Will Always Love You. No, don't get me wrong. That song, classic. I will never hate on that song. And I remember I gave this whole dissertation about Beyonce doing Jolene versus Whitney Houston doing I Will Always Love You. If you're going to do a Dolly Parton song, you've got to do the Whitney Houston, not the Beyonce, to the record, okay? Because when you listen to Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You and then listen to Dolly Parton's version, you go, yeah, Dolly, nice try. You almost forget Dolly Parton's ever done the song. It's literally, you look at a Dolly Parton song that became a Whitney Houston record. Everybody knows that. Anyone to dispute it, come at me. But when Beyonce does Jolene, you hearken for the day to travel back in your DeLorean and listen to Dolly Parton sing it live. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Whatever Beyonce did to that record, I mean, it was everything but body slam and stab 1,000 times. She destroyed that record. I won't even play it. That's how bad it is. That is ear garbage. So I listen. Sometimes my wife will play these songs and I'll just go, and it's repetitive nonsense. And do you know who I blame? I'll tell you who I blame. Missy Elliott.
Oh, I love Missy Elliott.
I knew you were going to say that. And a lot of people think Missy Elliott is a classic example of what good music sounds like. Let me explain to you in a nutshell how Missy Elliott managed, and I believe it, she is the pioneer of destroying records and music. She is the pioneer, okay? Here's how. Hear this. It's one record and one record alone. The record is called Get Your Freak On.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, be mad. That's okay. Be mad. Now, I am going to give you a quick dissertation as to why that song and why it destroyed music the way we listen to it today. Now, if you look up right now, when did that record come out? Get Your Freak On. I want to say
2003.
Yeah, I think it was around then. Get Your Freak On, release date 2001. I do remember because I first started in radio at Hot 97.
I was in college. That's how I knew.
Okay, so Get Your Freak On starts in 2001. It is the beginning of the end of music. Why? It's real simple. For those of you who know this record, you will recognize this one trait that destroyed the music industry. Don't no. And it was just get your freak on, get your freak on, get your freak on, get your freak on. That's it. That's the record. It's
but the beat was bananas.
No. It's sure the beat is bananas, but it's got that one. You ever hear that theory that when you drive down the highway when you're tired and the white lines, if you pay attention to them too long, you'll get tunnel vision and you'll go into a trance? You ever say that they tell you not to continue to look at the white lines when you're driving on the highway because you can totally forget where you are because it's hypnotizing? That is exactly what Get Your Freak On is. It's the simplest beat and simplest music ever. And that song was such a success with by far the ridiculous lyric. I don't even think I know the lyrics to the song, but everybody knows Get Your Freak On. And why? It's because of that repetitive don't no. Get your freak on. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. That's the whole record.
Hypnotizing sound.
Hypnotizing sound. And then the record industry, as many of them do, heard that and said, look at the success to that silliness, to that repetitive nonsense. And then every record did the same thing. If you don't believe me, I will give you what everybody considers the music god of Eminem, who did a song called Syllables. Remember? Do you remember that song?
I will have to hear it.
Okay, it's a song called Syllables, but he calls it Syllables. But anyway, the song is called Syllables. And the song features everybody from Jay-Z to 50 Cent to, what's his name? Status Quo and Dr. Dre. It is a not released, you can only find it online. It's called Syllables. And Eminem is talking about, and you listen to Eminem's lyrics in that whole song. And what is he talking about? He's talking about how the people who listen to music don't even care about the lyrics in the song. He's talking about how the record industry doesn't care about messages in the music. They only care about the hook and the beat.
Yep.
That's the whole song. And everybody in that record, from 50 Cent to Jay-Z to Dr. Dre, that's what they talk about in the whole song. In the whole song. And that song came out, I want to say late 2007, 2008, probably even later than that. But I'll never forget that. And that's exactly what Missy Elliott and these ridiculous songs. Could people say, it's like, why does the music sound so horrible now? That's why. And I blame Missy
So you don't
Elliott.
think it was happening before her?
There were elements of it where it was happening before. And I gave an example to my wife yesterday. One of the simplest, greatest records of all time. I still say it because I caught myself listening to it. Go back and listen to the Romantics song called Talking in Your Sleep. It is a brilliant, simple record. It is probably it's one of the best songs ever made. But it is, if you look at it, if you dismantle the record, it's meaningless and pointless. The lyrics are ridiculously simple. They are. They use the most basic words, but it is a great and absolutely fantastic song. You cannot not bounce or listen or bob your head when you hear Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantic. You cannot. It is absolutely infectious.
What about Hip Hop Array?
Another horrible song. And from a great group.
But I'm saying that had the same elements as
yes.
a real simple, repetitive song about really much of nothing.
Yes. I listen to a lot of music for a lot of years. And there are a lot of songs that I can honestly say are simple and almost throwaway songs, right? In other words, the great artists who do songs that are just, we were fooling around in the studio and somebody said, hey, we should put it out. And then they did, and it becomes a big smash hit. Because sometimes and again, it's always the group that has an obscure audience that, in other words, they have like a serious fandom that's sort of underground. And then they release the one record that gets mainstream appeal.
Yeah, that's what they have to do.
And that's
to make the
exactly,
money.
no, not every band is. But see, I have a rule. If you got a group that no one's heard of and you're doing moderately and they're kind of a cult following, and then you go mainstream, I'll stop listening to you. As soon as the mainstream public get a whiff of you, I don't want to touch you anymore.
So how they supposed to live and eat?
Oh, no. That is it. No. Nobody is telling them that they cannot. You never heard me say that. I didn't say don't. I just said I'm done with them. I'm done with them immediately when they go mainstream. Why? Because I know, and I learned that from Metallica. It's like the Black Album is a great, fantastic album. But once that album started going mainstream where everybody had to put out, every song had to have a music video out, I just went, they're squeezing this one till it's empty.
That's what happened to The Weeknd. He was an underground, he had a humongous underground following for years. And then he finally went mainstream.
I would like to know.
I didn't even know who he was. I went down to actually one of my cousin's funerals in New Orleans. This was years ago before The Weeknd blew up. And my little cousin, she was probably about 15.
Yeah.
She came up to me and she's like, "Bro, you know who The Weeknd is?" I was like, "The Weeknd? Who is that? Who names himself The Weeknd?" And she started playing his music. She was like, "I love this guy. All my friends love him. He's like humongous underground, and we love all his music." And then maybe like a year later, he blew up. So I heard him before he actually blew up. I had no idea who he was though, and I wasn't really, after hearing his underground stuff, I was like, okay, I could tell he has talent and he knows what he's doing, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. So.
Wait a minute. He says 2 people who don't have the slightest clue what music is talking about. Steve, I don't know whether or not 2 people was, but nice assumption. I think that every one of the listening audience, so to speak, has a genre of music that I know that they've listened to, where they know that an artist that was underground was fantastic when they came out, and then after the fact became straight garbage when they went mainstream. They just do. But I think what your point is, and I think it's right on point here. I think the one thing to recognize in all of this is that the music has gotten sloppier. Where's rock and roll right now? Give you a perfect example. Where is it now?
There is no.
There is none, right?
There is no rock and roll.
And why? Is it because it couldn't reinvent itself? Is it because certain groups. There's this story. A lot of rock hairband guys totally can recognize this. Who is the band who is responsible for killing Hairband Rock? The group is called Warrant. Even they acknowledge that they killed, like the whole Bon Jovi, Poison, not Def Leppard. What was the other group? I guess Def Leppard would be one of those members. But those hair bands, Warrant is considered the group that killed that genre. And then you had all of this other so-called death metal, which, by the way, will never go mainstream, could never go mainstream. But metal was on its way of becoming mainstream. And who were the people who forged its way? None other than Metallica. What did they end up doing by going mainstream? They killed metal. They killed it. And it's always mainstream. Poison, yeah. It is always mainstream that kills it.
It's the money, man. They gotta make the money. That's the problem. If they're able to make a decent amount of money plus royalties and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Without having to go mainstream, I think most of them would do it. But then you have the labels that are forcing you to go mainstream.
That's the part.
They gotta get their bottom line for signing you.
That is exactly the thing that I'm talking about, is that when the record label will cause, I used to say this all the time. I remember getting into a discussion with somebody who's in the music industry. And I said, you could follow a band forever, and sometimes they'll introduce, or you'll watch them progress as becoming a better band, right? They're thinking, they're more thoughtful, they're much more introspective in their music, and they don't try to be too experimental, but they get, pretty good. A group that I love called the Arctic Monkeys. I love them. All of their albums. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they went into this weird, very dark and very sullen place, as they like to call it. It completely changed the trajectory. I listened to it and I just go, this is garbage. Not that I wanted them to do like top 40 or, what do you call it? Like recognizable material. It just didn't flow. It just seemed all over the place, and like everything that they were doing was going, oh, let's start playing the drums with trash cans. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not who you are. It just didn't sound like you. The music videos didn't sound like you. You had a certain flair about you that was very rock and roll, very Euro rock, Euro trash rock. And all of a sudden, you guys were wearing tweed tan suits and looking respectable. And I'm like, this isn't, what the hell is this? This is garbage. And I immediately turned my back on them. I haven't listened to anything since. I don't even know if they've got a new album out, but I refused to listen to them. And it was like taking all of that success that they got from the underground, going mainstream and losing their way. Always lead with the girl that got you here. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, you can't stay in the G League forever though. You gotta go up to the pros at some point.
Then get better. If you're gonna go to the pros, get better, not worse, not experimental. If you're a guy for the 360 slam dunk, don't change that. Be better at that slam dunk. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I got to take a break. More news, more views. I got plenty of stuff to get into, and plus your phone calls. It's 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
We live in financially tough times. High grocery prices, high utility bills.
I forgot this board is broken.
Oh, really?
I can't push the button. I gotta go into the digital and click it with the mouse. I can't push the button to transition from, talking to commercials. And
Gotcha.
It's in the newsroom is broken too, so I gotta do it for them too.
Off MSRP. Get a brand new tariff-free Forester for only $28,695, or lease for only $259 a month. Crosstracks lease for only $229 a month, plus huge selection of tariff-free Outbacks and Ascents all on sale. And with 0% financing on select new Subarus, you're guaranteed to save even more. Plus, every new Subaru at the Proterra Subaru outlet comes with a complimentary 100,000-mile warranty. So do what makes sense and buy your tariff-free Subaru at the all-new Proterra Subaru outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91 at the corner of Weston and Jennings, or online at ProterraMotors.com. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
Living with chronic joint pain is kind of like getting comfortable on a cactus sofa. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, it never feels good, and it's never going to feel good. So if you want to do something about that this spring, especially when it comes to doing the things you love, whether it be golfing, hiking, tennis, or just walking, I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Connecticut are on it, and they're focused on finally getting you the relief that you need. They've already treated thousands of patients around the country and here in Connecticut as well, whether it's your hips, knees, shoulders, back, whatever. QC Kinetics has solid science. They give your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without downtime. It's really incredible stuff, and they have 3 offices here in Connecticut: Glastonbury, New Haven, and in Avon. The consultation's totally free, so if you're sick of doing nothing, do something and talk to them. If you're thinking about doing something like surgery, call them now. 860-440-PAIN. It's 860-440-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics, located in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. That number again, 860-440-PAIN.
And now, a WTIC news update.
65 degrees sunny in Hartford at 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. How about low 80s for tomorrow? Forecast coming up. Sean Diddy Combs appearing in a Manhattan courtroom today for a pretrial hearing. His attorney asking the judge to delay the rapper's sex trafficking trial set to begin on May 5th, which the judge denied. Combs pleaded not guilty to all federal counts. Federal judge who blocked the Trump administration from dismantling the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, ruling the agency can't go forward immediately with plans to fire hundreds of employees. Federal judiciary warning Congress is not providing enough money for judges' security at a time of escalating threats and chilling efforts at intimidation. And Israeli airstrikes across Gaza killing at least 25 people on Friday, including children, hospital workers said, as the new U.S. ambassador to Israel made his first public appearance in Jerusalem.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, mostly cloudy, breezy, and quite mild with the high up to 66. Cloudy tonight with the low only dropping back to 52. Now Saturday, clouds with some breaks of sun. It'll be breezy and warmer with a couple of showers around, the high up to 83. An evening shower Saturday night, otherwise partly cloudy, the low down to 48. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler on Sunday to round out the weekend with the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway Park pregame right here on WTIC 1080 at 6:10. Yanks and Rays in Tampa. Mets hosting the Cards at Citi Field. Reese on the Radio continues up next. 66 degrees, mostly sunny skies in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Looking for better propane savings and services for your home? Go with Petro. Switch now and get up to $500 free propane. Petro has affordable prices, no hidden delivery surcharge fees, reliable delivery in any weather, and live 24/7 service. For all the propane services you need to power your home all year round, go with your local propane pros. Go with Petro. Go to petro.com now to get up to $500 free propane or call 877-399-8395 today. Propane not available in all areas.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Caring makes all the difference. Experience the care at the Bradley Home and Pavilion, where community and caring go hand in hand. As you arrive, a newly remodeled and updated facility awaits you with all of the amenities to provide a place of comfort, security, and peace of mind. The Bradley Home and Pavilion is the place to thrive and have fun. While the space has changed, a commitment to the best quality of life remains the same. The Bradley Home and Pavilion, where community and caring go hand in hand. Experience the care at thebradleyhome.org.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too. With more than 48 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses, and we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you found yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nick Payne Darris is responsible for the content of this ad.
Did you hear? A recent stash of 10 Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 Gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 969-0686 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
That's right. If you want to air your grievance, you can do it right here by calling 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. You can call all day during the show and get your airing of grievances. Also,
a la peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Don't forget to go down to Between Rounds, pick up a Reese's peanut butter and jelly sandwich. $1 of the proceeds will go to the Friendly Hands Food Bank, our good friends, who I'll be hanging out with very soon, doing the great work. I just saw a news report on them. They got this big giant Easter basket with all of this candy on it. You guys are going to have to start doing donations for dentists, Karen, just in case. Just letting you know. I got a bunch of stuff that I need to get into, and I'll get to the phones in a quick second. So I gave this idea in the middle of the night. I wasn't in the middle of the night, but it was pretty late last night. I was thinking about it. I've been riding my bike with my wife. Yesterday, we did about 12 miles, and I posted some pictures of some of the roads in there. Very scenic, and there are these hairpin turns that's going on. One of them, I tweaked my thigh on one of them, but I posted the pictures on Facebook, and people have been responding to it. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I love what Jerry at Between Rounds did with Between Rounds. And I love, of course, what Karen Thomas is doing at Friendly Hands Food Bank. And I kept saying to myself, you know, I kind of feel like that stuff is infectious. I want to do a charity too. And I thought of this great way to do it, but I want to get your feedback. You got to go to my Facebook page. In order to get to my Facebook page, if you're not a friend there yet, go to reasonthenradio.com, friend us on Facebook, or just click the link there for Facebook, and look at the latest idea that I have. I'm thinking of calling it the Reese on the Radio Ride. And it could be a fall annual, not like a marathon thing, but a charitable bike ride. I don't know how many miles to do yet, but I'm thinking, maybe 20 miles. I don't think that's too bad. And you could bring any bike you want. You could bring a tandem. You and your loved one can go on the bike. There's no race. It's not about, getting there first or last. It's not about a qualifying time or anything like that. It's just a bike ride. And some of the ideas I had was, you can get someone to sponsor a certain amount of miles for a certain cost, right? So if it's 20 miles, you can get somebody to sponsor $5 a mile. They don't have to do the whole 20. They can do a considerable amount of miles for your entry. So you are contributing to the cause and then going on a fun bike ride. And then what we could do is something at the end. Now try this on for size, Roland. This is cool. At the end, where everybody gets there, we can get a couple of sponsors to either provide drinks or snacks, to replenish yourself after the long bike ride. And then, we could come up on stage, maybe, some featured guests could come up and talk, myself, of course, as, the Reese on the Radio ride. I would go up there, tell some stories, about behind the scenes stuff, personal, like we did at the beer and tap thing, so that, kind of a get together, sort of a Saturday, maybe even a Sunday afternoon. And we could do that yearly and just call it the annual Reese on the Radio ride, so that we could do something and that money could go to charity. We could get a whole bunch of people to do it. The kids could come out with their tricycles, whatever. Parents can come out. Maybe those people, I know there's a lot of those who have the what do you call it? Like the strollers that are attached to the bikes. I know a lot of people have those. Not that they have the ones that are in the back. They could do something like that. Is it a motorcycle and then beer? I'm in. Sorry, Matt in Bristol. It is not. We're talking clean fun. It's not a biker rally. In fact, look, if there's a biker rally, I'm your moped guy, because I totally will not ride a motorcycle. Scared to death of them. Just not. 860-522-WTIC. Let's get to the phones. White Mike, what's going on, sir?
Hey, man, do you check out Jason Whitlock stuff on a regular basis?
Not on the regular, but he will come across my feed now and again.
All right, so I'm going to give him credit on this one, but I think he's absolutely right, and what he says is why. He says that this Carmelo with the K. Anthony thing is being pushed as a psyop.
Really?
And that he knows this. Yes, and the reason he says this is the donation amount is ridiculous because black people won't even tip on a good meal, much less donate $300 to this dude's defense fund. And he said that, and it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, holy crap, how did I, of all people, not think of that?
That's, you know what? Listen, as controversial as that statement is, there is some.
It's untrue.
Say again? What'd you say?
It's untrue.
It's untrue?
No.
Look, no. Hear me out, Roland. Wait. Hear me out. Listen. This is never something, and it's crazy that you say this, White Mike, and I'll tell you why. There's some credence to what Whitlock is saying here. What did we see during Black Lives Matter, right? They had they had a body count that Black Lives Matter could go to as tangible evidence of this so-called police brutality and, this war on black people. They had tangibles on that. Yet Black Lives Matter, and it's, I can honestly say, a very catchy name, wasn't gaining any ground in the African-American community. But what did we find out during the Korean hacking scandal? Inside that scandal, they found out that inside Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and his cronies were boosting their profile on Facebook to give them a presence, an AstroTurf presence, to make them more prominent than they actually were.
Dude, look, they just hacked 4chan.
Yes.
And when they hacked 4chan, they found out that 4chan was a government psyop and all the moderators were coming back to .gov and .edu addresses.
Yeah.
So if they can psyop on that side to rile up the right wing, they can psyop on the left side to try to rile up black people.
That's exactly right.
And if you look at the comment section on the donation pages,
Mm-hmm.
the usernames are always something that I don't think a black person would name themselves, but someone whose like image of black people from the media would name them.
Right.
Like
Daddy
36 or, Dakota 45. And it's like, I don't think any black people who got enough together to donate $5,000 to this stuff are going to be so stupid that that's how they choose to represent themselves.
It's such a great point because it shows you, look, it's because I was going to talk about this later on today. It's this astroturfing that has become very prominent, right? So we know, and what's the biggest problem, right? They've looked at the November 5th election. They can't believe that the popular vote actually went to the guy who's supposed to be Satan. And now you have all of these protests. We got another one coming up this weekend, which is developed by groups that we know are funding the protesters who are showing up, that are paying them out of pocket for them to show up, to give the illusion that there's more people who hate this guy or hate these policies than there are who support it. And even Chuck Schumer said it, that they are given the illusion that if they keep telling people that more and more hate it, that it will change the attitude of the administration. I got to give it to
Buddy, there's a rally real quick. There's a Unite the White rally.
Yes.
Being staged in Frisco on Saturday.
Yes.
Holy crap. That glows like a nuclear reactor. I wouldn't go anywhere near that damn thing.
Right.
That is obviously a psyop.
And
That's
who would do that?
Fed.
And that's the crazy part. A Unite the White rally happening in ultra liberal, like what's that town called? The Tenderloin drug infested San Francisco. Talk about the wrong place at the wrong time.
No, I thought it was in Frisco, Texas.
Oh, in Frisco, Texas? Oh, dude.
Yeah, Frisco, Texas.
There's no There's no difference. There's no difference.
No, Frisco's just outside of Dallas.
Yeah.
But dude, it's scary. Like they're pulling some stuff on us, and you wonder where all that USAID money went and where all that money that Sam Bankman-Fried supposedly lost in crypto.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think's funding the bot army that's making all these comments?
Exactly. And that's all it is. Everything you're watching here is clear. Look, nothing is real anymore when it comes on the left. It's all fake, phony, and nonsense.
Yeah, they're hoping to get some white guy to pop off, but unfortunately, when the white guys pop off, they do stuff like blow up federal buildings with U-Haul trucks.
Yeah, exactly. Craig says there's a Unite the White rallies all the time. He said they're called hockey games. He's right about that. I'm not going to lie. I've only been to a few. Thank you, White Mike. I appreciate you, sir. I'm actually going to keep. I've got that audio up right now, and I'm actually going to look at it real quick. Thank you, sir. Let's go to. You know what? I'm going to go to TJ in Wallingford real quick. Hey, TJ, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
What's up, sir?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. You crack me up.
Thank you, sir.
I'm telling you, it's absolutely phenomenal. You're talking about your get-together. You know, one of the group of people that will always come together are Jeep people. Like if you have a TJ or an R, whatever kind of Jeep, those people will flock to it.
So so you're talking about like the Rubicon Jeeps, like Jeep Wrangler kind of people?
Anything Jeep. Like
really?
There's some old school people. Oh yeah, are you kidding? Like if you have an old TJ or anything like they will flock to anything.
So wait a minute, help me out here. So you don't think the bike riding thing it's everybody rides a bike? Come on, that's like a big thing, especially in Connecticut.
That's true, but that's true. But most of them are like 10.
Are like 10?
Yeah, well, they're kids.
No, listen to me, TJ. Listen to me. You have no idea. So when we first started doing the airing of grievances last year, Matt in Bristol called up to air a grievance about the quote-unquote, as I call them, Lance Armstrongs. And you've seen them, the guys who got all the gear on with the helmets, and they all got the tight pants on and the tight shirts. He was saying that he was being bombarded by these people who hog the road.
That's right. You can count their change in there if they have a pocket.
Exactly. You can count the change in it. Right. So he started railing against the fact that they weren't sharing the road. They were sort of being road hogs. Well, after he had aired his grievance, We were inundated for the next 2 hours with bike riders who were calling and admonishing him. So it clearly in Connecticut is a big thing. And we're talking young, especially, listen, we're talking about this audience, which is 35 plus. I was getting phone calls from guys 55 and older talking about, oh man, I've got this state-of-the-art made of astronaut metal, bikes that only weigh a half a gram.
Right. If you get off your bike and you actually have padding in the pants you're wearing to ride a bike, you need help.
What are you talking about, TJ? I'm about to go do that. It turns out that what's his name? Jason Caterina, our meteorologist, just mentioned that to me that he believes that they have shorts with padding in them. And then I got a message today from another person that says, yes, they do have shorts with padding in them. So my wife and I are looking them up because her butt was sore yesterday. Hey, look, we'll consider the Jeep thing and we'll see what that's like. But if you want to, like I said, I'm going to talk to Brass here and see if they can find some interest with some sponsors and see if we can do the bike riding thing. And like I said, you don't have to bring a bike. You could just show up at the end of the event and just hang out.
That'd be nice.
All right. Thanks,
All
TJ.
right.
I appreciate you, sir. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll get back to the rest of the phone calls and so much more. I've got plenty of news. Letitia James is giving her first interview to Errol Lewis, who is a reporter for Spectrum News. We'll talk about him as well. Also, stupidest thing I read today, Representative Ann Hughes has responded pretty much to her hot mic moment. And I'd like to break down to you why that may be the dumbest, what she said may have been the dumbest thing I ever heard a politician ever say about her constituents. I think she flat out lied on them, which goes to show that this woman has no connection with the people she represents. We'll talk about that as well. So much, much more. Stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Sue and her wife Helen meet their son every Saturday for lunch. One week they were late because Helen didn't realize it was Saturday. At the restaurant, they enjoyed their usual favorites and caught up. But after the meal, Helen got upset because she needed help calculating the tip. Sue missed 2 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Did you? Know where Alzheimer's and all dementia hide. Learn more at alz.org/10signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
At California Psych, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats? Or the joy of early bedtimes? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best.
You're wrong.
In fact, 98%
You're
of the
wrong
psychics
about
who apply
that,
to
Mary.
work with us
People still
don't
have
make
bikes.
the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes. $20.
What's that? Oh, and
so you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of
peanut
certainty.
butter and jelly
California
sandwiches.
Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
No, I know it's a joke.
You're gonna hear about it.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I'm just going to put this photo up there. I just want you to see it. I found this incredibly hilarious. We'll talk about it a little bit. For Chris Van Hollen has finally got a picture with Abrego Guadalajara Garcia. He finally got a photo with him in El Salvador. But what I noticed about the picture shows you exactly how petty I am. If you look at Garcia, Abrego Garcia, in this photograph, he is wearing a hat in the picture. And it's laughable only because if you look closely, and you can look at it online, they put Abrego Garcia in a Kansas City Chief Super Bowl championship hat for a Super Bowl they lost. If you've never heard of this, I'll explain it later. But yeah, I thought that was an incredible picture. A lot of people are taking notice of that because it is a new era official hat from the NFL that they gave Abrego to wear during this meeting with Chris Van Hollen in the center. Anyway, let's go to Stephen Waterbury. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and on that note, these people that make the hats and T-shirts and all, usually they give them away to other countries because they always put the winners on both teams, and they sell the ones obviously that win and donate the other ones as a rule.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently El Salvador got all of the unusable Kansas City Chief championship gear, and he wore it.
Absolutely.
Some people looked at it and said, am I living in an alternative reality? They lost that Super Bowl.
I got a charity that's near and dear to my heart. I think will segue nicely with the conversation today.
Okay.
It's called For Caucasians Without Rhythm, because we'd like to tap along to it with music.
Okay, you're breaking up, and I as you're saying it, you're breaking up. So say one more time. We're getting an internet thing breaking up here.
Okay. It's called The Caucasians Without Rhythm, because we want to clap along with the music as well.
Caucasians Without Rhythm. Oh,
yes.
Because they want to be able to clap along to the music as well. That's a great charity. That's a great charity. And you know what? We will consider it. It's first ballot without a doubt, okay? I'm telling you, if I put it on the list of charities that we could have join, I promise you as a goof, people are going to vote for it. They're going to vote for it. That's why I'm concerned about whether or not I'm going to put it on there. And what's going to happen now is having this conversation, now people in my chat room, the scallywags, they're going to be coming up with ridiculous charities themselves now. So I want to thank you for that, for starting that trend.
Yeah. Before you go, I got a few things on music. Did you ever see Frank Zappa play the bicycle?
I'm sorry, did I ever see?
Frank Zappa play the bicycle.
No.
I'll send you a clip on it. He was on the Steve Allen show long before he was anybody, before Zappa made it.
Really?
But yeah, and he's a very talented composer of music, and I kind of differ with you a little bit. Like, I hate auto-tune songs.
Yeah, me too.
I do like people that do variety. I mean, look at Linda Rice, that one. She does like the 40 songs, like Let's Do It, a couple other ones. Look at Billy Preston, who is considered the best Beatle. I mean, just look at the Beatles, the range of music they have. You know what I mean?
I got to get to a break, Steve. Steve, I got to get to a break. I apologize to you, buddy. But we got to get our first check of the weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Happy weekend, sir.
Same to you, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading on the westbound side of 84, look out for an accident in Vernon now between exits 66 and 65. Delays are back approaching 67 in Thailand behind that. Then we have another accident.
My legs are fine,
westbound.
Mary.
This one is in East Hartford, and it's between 59 and 58, the left lane block there. So you'll see delays behind that. Once you get around that, got an easy ride through Hartford out into the Farmington exits. Eastbound 84, that looks real good. Farmington out into Vernon. Southbound 91, some slow traffic, 33 down to 32 A and B. Delays again just south of exit 20 in Middletown. We've got a crash 91 southbound in Meriden. right at exit 18, the right lane, right shoulder blocked there. So once again, delays just after exit 20. Northbound Parkway, look for delays from Miller Avenue in Meriden up to 68 N and E on the Parkway. Northbound 91, no issues from Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 westbound Waterbury delays 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. 84 eastbound in Danbury, look for slow traffic from the New York Connecticut line out to 5. Again, you'll see slow traffic approaching 10 to 11 in Newtown. Westbound 84 slowing in Newtown from 9 to 7 in Danbury. And southbound on the Parkway, look for slow traffic in Hamden approaching 61 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays in New Haven from exit 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it remains mostly cloudy and breezy, but mild with the high up to 66. It'll be cloudy tonight, the low only down to 52. Now Saturday, clouds with some breaks of sun, breezy and warmer with a couple of showers around, the high jumping up to 83 for the day. Then Sunday, partly sunny, windy, and cooler to round out the weekend, the high down to 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
66 degrees, cloudy skies in Hartford at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. Maybe a shower tonight, but looking very warm for the weekend. Forecast coming up. Waterbury police investigating a hit-and-run crash from Thursday night involving the operator of a motorized scooter and a motor vehicle. More from WTIC's John Silva.
It was just before 7:30 p.m. Thursday that police were called to the area of Meriden Road and Enoch Street. Investigators say they found the male scooter operator suffering from life-threatening injuries. They say the driver of the vehicle had fled the scene before they arrived. The victim's in the hospital listed in critical but stable condition. Police say they did find the suspect vehicle that was involved in the crash and are looking to identify the driver. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash or who may have information is asked to contact Waterbury PD. John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Brazen thieves allegedly crashing a vehicle right through a gun shop early this morning in Walcott, stealing guns. Police say an alarm went off just before 5:30 this morning. Investigators say it was a small blue vehicle driven through the Sportsman's Outpost on Walcott Road. Police say 9 guns are missing. The car was reportedly stolen out of Bristol. Local and state police have cleared the scene in Groton following an earlier investigation overnight into early this morning centered on an apartment complex on Allen Street. Still no word on what, if anything, was found or what detectives were looking for specifically. Some of the officers wearing hazmat suits, but they do say there was no body found. It's not far from the scene from where human remains turned up several weeks ago. Bryn Holmes tells WFSB it's a little unsettling seeing so many police in the neighborhood.
It's just really eerie to see all this and know that it's so close. Like, you never think it would happen in your own hometown.
Sean Diddy Combs appearing in a Manhattan courtroom today for a pre-trial hearing. His attorney asking the judge to delay the rapper's sex trafficking trial set to begin on May 5th. Which the judge denied. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all federal counts.
Sean Combs, the defense team will be aware of these names. The jury will ultimately be aware of these names, but the victims will remain anonymous during the trial.
Reporter Katrina Kaufman outside the courthouse. Severe storms, including confirmed tornadoes, causing widespread damage across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. A severe weather threat will continue across the nation's midsection through the weekend. The tariff whiplash of the last few weeks has many businesses trying to figure out their next moves. Fred Carstensen, professor of finance and economics at UConn, says consumers will wind up footing at least some of the bill where tariffs are concerned.
Sean Combs, the defense team will...
Weird.
Historically, about 90% of the cost gets passed through to customers. Moreover, domestic American competitors actually raised their prices. In the first Trump administration, they put a heavy tariff on washing machines and dryers.
He was a guest on WTIC's Brian and Company. Well, if you live in Waterbury, chances are you've been to the Wayside Market on South Main Street to buy their delicious imported meats and other delicacies. However, owners Rena and Carlos Goncalves are calling it a day and are selling the store they bought more than 10 years ago. Tomorrow is the last day they'll be open for business. Naturally, loyal customers are disappointed, with many coming from towns around Connecticut. The market has been in business more than 50 years through various owners. Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway pregame right here on WTIC 1080 at 6:10. Reese on the Radio continues up next. 66 degrees cloudy in Hartford. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods.
This week at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods, local hickory-smoked spiral-cut hams are only $3.99 per pound. Plus, Stu's naked leg of lamb, boneless, butterflied, or roasts are just $6.99 per pound. Save $3. For more savings, visit StuLeonards.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800
Here we go.
or 9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
You are going to hear about it. 860-522-WTIC. That's 860-522-9842 to air your grievance today. We'll get into stupidest thing I read today, which has to do with Representative Ann Hughes. Also, we'll talk about the wife of Abrego Garcia, who was on Good Morning America. And I will tell you this, folks. There's a rule in news. You give a certain anchor a certain story at these morning news programs. And the biggest political story that involves the President of the United States goes to the most senior political anchor of that morning news show. If there's an exclusive interview with someone related to the subject, in this case, Abrego Garcia's wife, if you do that interview, it goes to the leading politics reporter. As far as Good Morning America is concerned, that story would go to George Stephanopoulos. It always will. But in this conversation with Jessica Vasquez is her name, you know who they gave the interview to? Michael Strahan. Again, this woman is being promoted as the wife of a political prisoner in El Salvador at the hands of the ruthless Donald Trump regime. And they gave the story of the wife, the exclusive interview, on Good Morning America, the #1 morning show. They gave it to a former defensive lineman of the New York Giants, Michael Strahan. So you need to know. When you hear the video, you will be shocked. Let's get to another check of the weather and traffic. Jason Catarina and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. Well, right now, look out for an accident on the westbound side of I-84 in Vernon. It might be clearing now, but look for delays westbound 84 as you move between exit 67 and 66. Earlier action between 66 and 65. Once again, it looks like that's clear. There's no camera out there, but doesn't look like it's moving a little bit better there. If you are traveling westbound 84, look for a little slow traffic as you move up on exit 58 in East Hartford. We had an earlier accident there. That looks like that has also been cleared out of the way, so that's going to move much better now through East Hartford. Once you get into Hartford, you'll see some slow traffic now approaching the Bulkley Bridge. 84 eastbound, no problems. Farmington out into the Vernon exits. Southbound 91's a little slow. 33 Jennings Road down to the 84 West merge at 32A and B. If you are traveling right now on the northbound side of I-91, that's looking good now. Cromwell through downtown up into the Windsor exits. 291 through 84, okay, 2 eastbound looking good. Glastonbury and East Hartford. Still dealing with an accident now. 91 southbound in Meriden down by exit 18 for the 691 exit. It's all on the right shoulder now. So right now look for delays as you approach exit 19 down to 18. Northbound Parkway, you've got delays in Meriden, Miller Avenue up to exit 68 and E. Northbound 91 moving while Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're traveling into Middletown, that looks good on in the Argonne Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury sluggish 26 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. If you're traveling 84 eastbound in Danbury, slowing 3 out to 5. Again, some slow traffic 10 to 11 in Newtown. Heading down into New Haven, southbound on the Parkway, you've got delays from 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slowing 46 down to 44 in New Haven. I'm Mark Christopher. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Tonight it'll be overcast, breezy, and remain mild. The low only down to 51. Breezy and warmer Saturday. Clouds and breaks of sun. Pollen levels going to be very high, though. Just a heads up. The high up to 83. Passing evening shower or 2 for Saturday night. Then partly cloudy, breezy. Still mild with the low only, with the low only down to 49. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler to round out the weekend on Sunday. The high 63. Then partly sunny Monday to kick off the week with the high back to 63. Right now it's 61 in Waterbury, 65 in Danbury, 61 for Bridgeport, and it's 64 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We promise fast, friendly, reliable service. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're going to talk about very, very important things in retirement and life planning. Wills, estates, do I need it? What can I do? Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's no secret, the world is more expensive. But at Mitchell Auto Group, they have a solution, Mitchell Select. Hand-picked selection of affordable, high-quality pre-owned vehicles. Each one goes through a 150-point inspection, comes with a 12-month warranty. What does that do? It ensures reliability and peace of mind. Affordable, dependable, Mitchell Select has what you need. All you have to do is go to mitchellautogroup.com to explore the select inventory. Mitchell Auto Group, where value meets quality. And remember, folks, always drive safely.
Attention, have you racked dollars or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Airing of grievance on this Friday. We'll get to your phone calls in a second. Stand by. I just want to play this. So, Senator Chris Van Hollen was able to get get a meeting, I should say, with Garcia, Abrego Garcia, and of course, this is the photograph of that. And it is, it's unfortunate how this is going to be used. The video, the photograph, the shaking of the hand, the traveling down to El Salvador. We believe that there are other people who are going to be going down to El Salvador demanding this. I don't think that's going to happen now, but if they do, good on you. They are now getting the backlash from this. There is a photograph with a sitting senator with an MS-13 gangbanger. Everyone knows he is. It is a fact. This photograph will play everywhere during the midterms. Some people have gone so far. I watched this on Jesse, but my wife and I were thinking about it as well. This is the they-them commercial that did in the Kamala Harris campaign. She's for they-them. Donald Trump is for you. That's what this photograph is showing. And it is going to be used against every Democrat. It's going to be asked at every town hall or debate during the midterm elections, which many of these people have to face. And if you're a Democrat, you're going to be asked about Abrego Garcia. What is going to make that really difficult is the interview that his wife did on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan. And just one question that was the most important question of the day. The thing that is hurting his campaign even more than his MS-13 ties is the fact that he beat his wife. And she documented it, not once, but twice. A punch to the eye, a boot to the face, putting their children in jeopardy. She documented it. And according to her and her own affidavit, she has video of it, or at least had. She documented it. So when asked by Michael Strahan, not George Stephanopoulos, not even, Robin Roberts, who does Serious News. I mean, she did the Jussie Smollett interview. Right? You know, he's black, she's black. He's gay, she's gay. You see how that works? This is a huge political issue. You give it to George Stephanopoulos. They reduced it down to their third string anchor, Michael Strahan. You want to know why? Because everybody knows that this is about to blow up. This is about to go up in smoke. Michael Strahan has no political capital to worry about. He's not going to be embarrassed if this turns out to be a fraud. It's Michael Strahan. But if George Stephanopoulos is doing an interview promoting this nonsense, he's already got enough trouble. He's already got enough trouble. And Robin Roberts, the Jussie Smollett thing did enough damage to me. I'm not doing this. Your turn, Michael. Here's how one question, the most important question of all of this, went down. Hey, Jessica, whatever your name is, Jennifer, you filed a complaint against your husband for beating you. How'd that go?
And I know this is a sensitive question, but I have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
Husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay. And you know, I'm not going to push on that, apparently. But
why not? Why is he not going to push on that? Why did he let that go? That's an unacceptable answer. You got the entire country. You got the entire country sitting on the edge of their seat. Are they going to get him home? Is he going to come back to his family? What about the babies? Then you find out that he abused her and you got an opportunity to ask her, hey, you said you were very afraid of your husband. What happened? She goes stark silent. It's quiet. She released the statement publicly in writing, but nothing in person? All I know is that my husband is alive. I don't want to answer that. When you don't say anything, look, you say everything when you say nothing. That right there, by the way, death knell. It's over now. It's over. You're going to watch the press and everybody else slowly back away from it. Hey, it's a nice story for a little while, okay? Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody's going to creep away. I can't believe it happened, but they let it. But this stuck with them forever. Let's go to Steve in Middletown. How we doing, Steven?
Hey, Reese, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
I got a grievance for you this afternoon.
Yes, let's go.
All right, we got all these politicians, mainly Democrats, saying that these illegal aliens need their due process before they can be deported now.
Right.
My question to them is, where was our due process when you brought them into the country?
That's correct. But we were not asked for these people to be our neighbors. We were not asked for these people to be brought into our schools and on our workplaces. No one seemed to care about the consent of the American people. This was done on their behalf, not ours. Say again?
They weren't checked for any diseases?
Nope. Yeah, it was crazy. You're right. During the COVID, think about that. During COVID, everybody had to go and get a COVID test. These folks were allowed, they not only were they flown in without getting COVID tests, but then they were put in schools and in neighborhoods. And people didn't know there was this, all of a sudden there was this uptick in the, what was it, the whooping cough, whatever that's called? It was, I'm sorry, I haven't had a child in a long time, but a whooping cough that all of a sudden skyrocketed. Yeah. And there were other cases. It was like all of a sudden tuberculosis made a comeback. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a good point. I appreciate you, Stephen. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Mike in Plainville. Hey, Mike.
Want to do some riding, get a good seat, you can get a gel seat. I used to ride a lot years ago all over the state.
I know
and
you.
The gel seat, you just wrap it around the seat that comes with the bike, and you strap it in and try it out. I mean, it's an option.
Yeah, Michelangelo, I got to give him a shout out. He was the one who contacted me this morning, if not yesterday. I didn't see the message until this morning, but Michelangelo told me, in fact, to get a padded pair of shorts for the West End. But let me read you what he wrote me. He goes, also, don't go too, he says, don't go too crazy with the padded shorts. You want a thin pad, if in any pad at all. I get that your butt hurts, but I assure you it goes away. Too thick of a pad, and you're going any amount of distance will be problematic.
It doesn't go away entirely, but I wanted to wait till 5 o'clock when your wife came on because I wanted to get into the subject of micromanaging at home. It's an all-time high.
Oh, don't listen. Whatever you do,
an all-time high.
Don't tell anybody you even brought that up.
Don't forget to heat up the water for the coffee.
Listen to me. We just had a fight about micromanaging the other day. It's so funny you mentioned that. It wasn't even a fight. It was a debate, and she got her feelings hurt, and I got a little defensive. But we might talk about that a little bit. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let me go to Mark in Colchester. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese.
What's
I
up,
got to compliment you.
Sure.
Well, I wanted to compliment you before I give you my problems. I had problems with you. First off, you said you and Rush Limbaugh, you have show prep. It shows. You got presence. It shows.
Thank you.
You got interest. We want to listen. However, sounds like radio people nowadays don't have program directors that do air checks.
And
I hear people all the time saying ums and uhs.
I do that a lot. You're so right about that. I get on my own case. I listen. And by the way, I do my own air checks, and I do it a lot, and I recognize it, and it drives me nuts. I'm working really, really hard. I appreciate you bringing that up. And I don't.
It shows.
I know. I really try. When I see myself doing it and I know what it's about, it's at that point, whatever I'm trying to convey, and I'm doing it now. As I'm trying to convey it, I'm thinking, and I immediately fall back on ums. You're 100% right, and I thank you for bringing it up.
You are one of the rare ones. I mean, for instance, the show prep that comes across, you're interesting. I hear people, and I'll say on WTIC, that say the talkers, the call-ins, that's what programming's about.
Yes.
My PD back in the day said no. People don't tune in to hear other people. They tune in to hear you.
Thank you.
And that's what you're doing is you're speaking to one person, even though your average quarter hour is 30,000. Each person listens individually.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody else on that station knows that.
I'm trying.
When
You
you
know
talk
what?
to
It's
Mark
crazy that you say that. I was looking at the numbers recently, Mark, and that was the thing that I was taught even when I was an intern. My first week was I was trying to, maybe, you know what it might be? I'll tell you why I think I was interested in it. As a kid, we used to get the Nielsen ratings for television in our newspaper all the time. And I always thought that was interesting. If the Love Boat had gone from number 1 to number 7, that was interesting. It was weird, right? I was interested in that. And when I got into radio, I immediately wanted to know, how do you check ratings? And I think it was just my interest in how ratings work. Not that I thought that they were important because I didn't realize its relevance. But once I got into radio the first week as an intern, it wasn't even an on-air personality. That was one of the first questions I asked the host. Hey, can you look it up online, or can you what do you call it? Become a member of a particular. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and that's where the program director stopped each one of us on our air checks and said, "I don't give a rat's patoot how many tens of thousands of people you think you're listening to. It's not an auditorium."
Right.
Because when you say everybody, nobody listens. But when you say you, I want to thank you for listening. Or like when your traffic guy comes on and says, "Hello, everybody," everybody tunes out when they hear that because you're not talking to them. As opposed to if he says, "I want to thank you for listening," and you have a problem. Even though there's 4 people in my car, each one of us hears ourselves individually.
That's a dynamic. I love that. It's a good point.
It's a theater of the mind that even though you're in an auditorium, you could say everybody because we can look around and see it. But on radio, if you talk to one person, that's what makes you interesting.
Thank you.
I think you're talking to me. I think you're talking to Tim in Hamden. It's one person at a time, even though your cume is 20, 30, 40,000. The thought process is, right now, sitting across from me is Mark, and I'm telling Mark my opinion about what's going on with this senator down in wherever and how he's doing what he's doing. And that's what I hear. So whenever you say, "I want to thank you for listening," all 30,000 people at that time hear themselves individually. And I don't think anybody else on that station realizes that. That's why Rush was so good.
Thank you.
He talked to one person.
Hey, can I say something before you go? Since we're about to go to a break, I can actually talk before I continue. You said, in saying that, Rush did this sort of, it wasn't even a monologue. I think he was having a conversation about radio. And he said something that I've never heard a radio host talk about. And that was, when you're doing radio, you have to almost pretend you're only talking to one person because you don't know who's listening. And I thought that was incredible because I was a part of a radio show that I knew people were listening to, but there's no real way to know. Like, I used to look at the phone banks and say, "Wow, nobody's calling, so I guess no one's listening." Like, I use that.
And
like,
that's the opposite.
It's a bad metric. It's a horrible metric. And I think when Rush talked about it, I think that's what kind of gave me a keen sense of what this is about. So you're 100% on point and brilliant observation on your part, and I appreciate you for it.
Well, that's my problem with the rest of the staff. They don't talk to one person.
Thank you,
so
sir.
I've got problems with you people.
Thank you, Mark. That's brilliantly said. You got it. All right, let's go to a break. Let's get some weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. God love them.
Good afternoon, Rush. It is the EIB traffic report. And coming into downtown Hartford right now, I can't do this voice.
Hey, I will tell you this. It's
wait,
interesting.
Can I say this?
Yeah, go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I want to say this. Do you
Mark,
know
Rush can I say something about the last caller?
Yes, of course.
I went into a coma listening to this.
Oh!
I was like, Jesus, God, get this guy off. Mr. Radio Consultant here. We love radio consultants. Everybody knows everything. Good afternoon, everybody! Good afternoon, everyone!
Goodbye!
All right, coming into Hartford right now, southbound 91, 2A and B. And again,
guess he didn't like getting corrected.
Sideline, get into the game. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulky Bridge. Good afternoon, everyone. To Vernon, 291, 384, okay, east of the river. 2 westbound's a little slow.
He may ride that one for a while.
Get off the sideline, get in the game. Wow.
18, westbound 84 is tied up. 26 in Cheshire up to 25, and again 22 into the Mixmaster. If you're heading into New Haven, 91 in the Parkway doing very well. South 95 is a little slow, 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together. Good afternoon, everyone. WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HAYMOND and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Haymond is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HAYMOND.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, mostly cloudy, breezy, and quite mild with the high up to 66. Cloudy tonight with the low only dropping back to 52. Now Saturday, clouds with some breaks of sun. It'll be breezy and warmer with a couple of showers around, the high up to 83. An evening shower Saturday night, otherwise partly cloudy, the low down to 48. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler on Sunday to round out the weekend with the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
65 degrees, cloudy in Hartford.
Mark's still fired up about that.
He's so mad.
Warming up for the start of the Easter holiday weekend, the forecast coming up. Students dropping off balloons and teddy bears at a memorial today near Florida State University Student Union, where a 20-year-old opened fire, killing 2 men and wounding 6 others. Investigators say the death toll from a boat crash in Congo earlier this week rising to 148, with 100 still missing. Sean Diddy Combs appearing in a Manhattan courtroom today for a pretrial hearing. His attorney asking the judge to delay the rapper's sex trafficking trial to begin on May 5th, but the judge said no. Combs pleading not guilty to all federal counts. A jury is beginning deliberations in the bribery case brought against Nadine Menendez after a prosecutor told the jury she was a critical participant in a 5-year fraud with her husband, former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison. Harvey Weinstein moved to a New York City hospital after a judge approved the ailing ex-studio boss's request to stay there rather than in jail when he's not in court for his Me Too retrial. A federal judge who blocked the Trump administration from dismantling the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, ruling the agency can't go forward immediately with plans to fire hundreds of employees. In sports, Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway. Pregame right here on WTIC 1080 at 6:10. Yanks and Rays in Tampa. Mets hosting the Cards. Reese on the Radio continues up next. 65 degrees. Cloudy skies in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in well over 90% of cases. Here is one of our patients, Bill, sharing his experience on our ED treatments.
My name's Bill, and I'm a patient at Northeast Men's Health. I suffered with ED for a couple of years, and I wasn't satisfied with my intimate life with my wife. If you have a problem, find a solution. If you have ED, seek out Northeast Men's Health. Go there. You've got nothing to lose. I am having good sex, but it's not just about the sex. Colors are brighter. My mood was brighter. I had more passion for everything in my life, not just sex, everything. I'm going to Northeast Men's Health. Go there, give it a try, meet the people there. They'll take care of you.
Thanks, Bill. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. For just $99, you'll get a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of 10...
Wait a minute.
Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, why not? Let's do this.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I read today is an old story that we've already talked about, but the Connecticut Insider is doing a follow-up with Representative Ann Hughes, talking about her hot mic moment where she says, keep taxing my folks, they won't even know. And of course, she was admonished by people online saying, how could she? She's obviously out of touch and goes to show you Connecticut politics, as it were, blase, blah, blah, blah. But in the article, in asking her to defend her statements, or at least to pull them back, say she regrets them, apologize, she did not. She went so far as to double down. And in doubling down, she made this statement about, the richest among her constituents, the millionaires and the billionaires, because she thinks that language resonates with people in Connecticut. Maybe it does. I don't believe so, but maybe it does. I could be wrong about that. But here's where she said something I thought blew my mind. And it was this quote here. Representative Ann Hughes says that she knocks on doors. Maybe she does, but I don't think this statement she made is true. Quote, when I go door knocking, the folks that have moved in and have chosen Fairfield County, the high wealth folks, ask why we don't have tolls. I was like, good question. Big fan of them. Hughes said that she was unsure of how much of her constituency fell into Connecticut's top 2 income brackets. U.S. Census data reports the median income at $189,505. I reported yesterday that it was $135,000. That was from 2020. This must be recent. $189,505 in Easton, over $250,000 in Weston, and $176,000 in Reading. So if I'm hearing this, these wealthy folks that Representative Ann Hughes is talking to, the thing that they're concerned about is why don't we have tolls? Again, I'm not a reporter, but if I were, the follow-up to that question would be, as a journalist, why would your wealthy constituents want to add tolls for people in a state who can barely afford their electricity bills? Your response to those people asking, why don't we have tolls, were, good question, big fan of them. No one thought to ask that in the report. You got her there. Don't even bother to ask it. Again, not a journalist. Don't pretend I'm a talk show host. I read this and the first thing that ran through my mind was, where's the follow-up? To that, good question. How can we tax our constituents more? Not just the people in her wealthy district, but that tolling is going to go to everybody, rich and poor. Bozos. That's the reason why people should be outraged. And this is also the nonsense that I keep telling you. There's no way people are voting for this. No way. No way that Representative Ann Hughes can say something like that. And people in Connecticut, whether they be wealthy or poor, say, yeah, she's got my vote. Get out of here. Let's go back to the weather and traffic with Jason Catarinas and Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, good afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry. Good afternoon, each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in.
Stop
on the
it!
westbound side of 84, you've got delays. 57 up to exit 56 area in East Hartford from an earlier accident. All that traffic's moving forward into downtown now. 84 eastbound's okay. Farmington out into Vernon. Southbound 91 slowing 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're on the northbound side of 91, that moves well as you move from Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're 84 westbound in Waterbury, delays 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slows 17 to 18. Traveling into New Haven, southbound 95 got delays 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Overcast, breezy, and mild tonight. The low only dropping back to 51. It'll be breezy and warmer for us on Saturday with clouds and breaks of sun, the high of 83. A passing evening shower Saturday night, otherwise partly cloudy, breezy, the low 10 to 49. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler Sunday to round out the weekend with the high 63. Then Monday, partly sunny, the high back to 63. Right now, it's 52 in New London with the wind coming off of the water, 64 in Mansfield, 57 in New Haven, and 64 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're going to talk about very, very important things in retirement and life planning. Wills, estates, do I need it? What can I do? Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary. For a limited time, purchase high-performance double-pane windows from the Peter L. Brown Company and get an upgrade to super-efficient triple-pane glass at no additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
Need dental implants? Columbia Dental's prosthodontic experts specialize in placing and restoring implants for a natural, confident smile. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
A successful retirement doesn't just happen. It requires a plan that is custom built to suit everyone's individual financial situation. Every Saturday at 3, we share vital information on how to build and live a successful retirement. It's On the Money with Jay Dorso. Retirement strategies on building income and proper protection from the pitfalls and the latest news in the retirement universe. On the Money with Jay Dorso, 3 p.m. this Saturday on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Last night, you were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back. Don't forget, Ladies' Night coming up in a little bit. Mrs. on the radio will be joining us to talk about the topic of the day, which I have not shared yet. We'll share it right before we get to the break and make sure that she can't hear me before she gets on the microphone. What was the other thing that I had to mention? Oh, airing of grievance on Friday. So if you got a grievance to air, if you want to be the last but not least caller of the day, make sure that you give us a holler at the end of the show at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We don't have
anything of real relevance to talk about? Oh, yes, I do. Before I get to the phones, I want to play this real quick, and I'm going to talk more about it on Monday. The news media locally is a big problem, especially here in Connecticut. And we've had these conversations over and over again. I've talked about it ad nauseum about why the news media seems to ignore the stories that are important to you and why guys like Mark in West Hartford are important and these other independent journalists. And that's where you've got to go to get your news, especially about the politics and the politicians in the state. The scandals, if you will, those people are going to be on the outside. Mark Fitch from Connecticut Inside Investigators, who I enjoy reading his stuff. This is the reason why. And it's real simple. It's about access and other things. This reporter is from California, and he's talking about an anchor of one of the major networks in California talking about dealing with Gavin Newsom. Listen.
An anchor who's still on TV today in California sat down with me at a coffee shop during the election. He said, Kevin, there are times that we look at what we are told to say and we want to scream at the script because we know it's a lie. But we have to do it because otherwise our reporters won't get invited back into the Newsom press briefing. And we have to be there to cover it. Otherwise, people will go to a different news station. If we don't get invited in, we don't get the coverage of their grand new plan. So really, you don't get exposure to the problems in California through the mainstream television. And I'm not talking about nationwide, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all of the local stations. I think it's bad, the censorship we saw with the Twitter files or at Meta. The same thing is happening at every single news station throughout the entire state. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg was just talking on Joe Rogan about how as soon as they started saying no to the Biden administration, that they weren't going to remove certain posts, they started getting a bunch of agency inquiries and lawsuits against Meta. Well, imagine getting sued if you're a small local TV or radio station in California by the governor. You're screwed.
And there you have it. It's real simple. So there's no honest journalism if you know that someone in charge or some higher up is going to limit your access because they feel like that's more important than delivering the news to you. And I wish that was just something that I heard about a guy talking about California. I've talked to journalists here in the state from all of the major networks. And guess what? They all said the same thing he did. Sad part about it is it's not just the reporters. The reporters want to badly to break news stories, but the newsrooms won't let them. They won't. Because sadly, and those of you in the newsroom who are listening to me, don't shake your head. Don't get an attitude. You know it's true. The only reason why I'm not exposing you is because I gave confidence to certain reporters who were scared to death to out you because of the way it'll reflect their careers. They're scared to death of you. So I've got to have an obligation to them, but I know you're shutting down stories. I know you're playing with the big boys, keeping them protected. Everybody knows. It's not an open secret. It's not even a secret. It's a fact. So unfortunately, and trust me, my day will come. I know it's going to come. Someone's going to whisper. It's happened to me already. I've already had a program director tell me, hey, I'm going to need you to lighten up on so-and-so. Hey, I'm going to need you to squash some of the stories you've done on such and such. It's happened. I told them to pound sand. I'm never going to fall for that. So I'm just saying, not that it would ever happen here. I don't believe it would happen here. But should it? If you ever see that one day, it's just like, hey, what happened? You can always find me. And I know, look, don't get me wrong. Once you're gone, you're gone. Some people will support you, and then you're gone, and then they don't. And I get that. I understand that. I don't do it because it's risky. I don't do it because, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to cross that line, see if I can. I'm not an agitator. I'm just here to tell the truth. That's it. It's my job. From the moment I wake up and I start gathering news to the moment I'm off the air, that's all I'm trying to do is to give the truth. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, just trying to give the news, just trying to give you the information that we know that certain places won't give you. But I'm not afraid of these people. I got nothing to gain. I don't owe anybody anything, and they don't owe me anything. I'm not in cahoots with them. I'm not trying to be their best friends, their pals, or get into their parties. I don't even like parties. If there was a party that I was going to and they forced me to go to, trust me, I wouldn't shake one of their hands, and they know it. Ugh. Don't care. But that's what bothers them. Anyway, moving on. 860-522-WTIC. Bob is in Newington. Hey, Bob.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. I just want to make sure you were talking to me.
No problem.
Yeah. So my question that I have is with the senator, is it Holland in Maryland?
Yes, Van Hollen.
Who is going down to El Salvador or went. It's like, how much is that costing us? You know? Because let's face it, he's not traveling on his own dime.
No.
You know? So and then also his entourage. Let's face it, he's got to have assistants and stuff with him.
Indeed.
That's costing us a lot of money. And then my other question, and with this I'll hang up, but is the wife of this guy a citizen?
Yes. She is an American.
Or she is an American?
Yes.
So she's a legal citizen?
Yes,
then.
she is.
Okay. Well, that was it.
Okay.
So you can comment on that and let it go.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Lynn in West Suffield. How are you, Lynn?
Hi, Reese. I was calling. I'm your vice president of your Murphy fan club.
Yes, that's correct. Hello,
that's
Lynn.
Correct. What I wanted to say is this Van Hollen, senator from Maryland,
yes,
that went down there to see this Abrego Garcia man. I want to know. I want him to prove to the American people where this guy worked for the last 13 years.
Yes, it's such a good point.
Right?
There was someone who came forward.
For 13 years.
Yes, there's some guy who came forward that's supposed to be the president of the union that Abrego Garcia is a part of, but we have confirmed evidence that the job that he was doing was a day laboring job outside of the local Home Depot. Like plenty. In fact, the police that had been surveilling him said that the reason why he was confirmed as an I keep saying MSNBC, MS-13 member. That's talk about a Freudian slip. An MS-13 member, the reason why they knew he was because of the people he was around at the Home Depot doing day laboring.
So that's the only job that he basically had, was a day laborer.
Correct.
He never did nothing for 13 years that they could prove that, he had like a regular job or actually did anything to have like a regular job.
They have bailed from that narrative ever since it was brought up.
Yep, that's exactly why. They said he was doing human trafficking. They said, he was doing a lot of underhanded things.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because they're asking for I think Jesse Waters last night said that they FOIA'd the body cam footage of his travels from Texas, to Maryland. I believe he was stopped in Tennessee during his travels. He didn't have he had a suspended license. The vehicle that he was driving was not his, and the other passengers in the vehicle could not identify themselves. When they were asked to write their names down, they put chicken scratch, and the address of their residence, of the people that were in his car, were all Abrego Garcia's address that they gave to police.
Wow.
And they still let him go. And according to reports, the FBI suspected this was human trafficking or human smuggling, and the FBI had dropped it, which I'm still trying to understand why. But I have a theory. And I'll talk about that on Monday.
Okay. Have a great weekend.
You got it. You too. Div, let's go to Scott. Hey, Scott's in the car. Hey, Scott.
Hey, bud, how are you?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
Hey, it was funny. I was listening. First of all, the caller, a few callers back, that was giving you some accolades for your on-air presence.
Sure.
I want to second that guy's sentiments, because you do have a very individual characteristic to your address to the public. So
Thank you.
I back him up. I heard your weatherman going at it with you. But, your traffic guy.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, he's actually correct. And quite frankly, I hear a lot more AM radio with you now, like from stations that I do a lot of visits around to industrial sites,
sure,
construction sites, and they're listening to you, not the FM radio that they were
really
with the music. They're listening to you, pal. Yeah, it was funny that he was mentioning that, because I'm like, I've absolutely noticed that myself. I've listened to more AM radio at this time of day because of your engagement. So
thank you.
I don't want to drive your traffic guy too nuts by fluffing you up too much. But
That's he took that in jest, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know.
And let me say to the construction sites, to those of you who are listening on the construction sites, please, my heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much for your interest in the show. It means everything to us, and it's nice to know that audience is checking us out. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and quite frankly, in the environment today, politics has become so very interesting to a lot of people, because you've got someone who's, maybe they like him or not, but Trump in office is giving you a more real, person to listen to. You're listening to an actual character, not someone who they feel like they're listening to someone else from behind the scenes just shoving notes in front of the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that.
It brings me to the when you were talking before about and you said that line. Well, what about the baby? It immediately made me think of that movie where you probably got it from, The Invention of Lying. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the term that the woman was saying. What about the baby?
It's always about the babies.
Yeah, but when you listen to the left and you listen to the media, it's like they don't even want to hear, or they don't understand that they're actually being lied to in such a profound way, to the point where we're in this situation with this guy Garcia down in El Salvador, where everything around it is made up, and you're 100% right. Now that people are realizing it, the media definitely has to be sensing it. They're going to slowly but surely start backing away from this as the new shiny thing.
Yeah,
because it's destroying the credibility.
Yes, and look, it doesn't mean that they're not going to fall for the latest hoax that they think is going to poll well. Here's the interesting part about this whole Abrego Garcia thing, is that places like the Washington Post, people like Politico, they're all reporting that staffers in Washington are telling Politico in the Washington Post that they are receiving over 200, 300, 400 phone calls by constituents who are telling them that this is the only thing they're concerned about. So now think about this, and this is the perfect storm of stupidity. If you are an out-of-touch politician who does not go out and actually touch your constituents, you don't talk to them, very much like Ann Hughes here, who doesn't really go out and talk to the people, get a sense of what they think and what's important to them, and everything that you collect is through polling data from Quinnipiac or whatever, you will believe that those 247 calls that you got at your office is the makeup of the country. Now you've all of a sudden think you've got your finger on the pulse of your society, which turns out to be you're wrong. These people will never. So, you know what? I'll say this last thing, and this was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was what Greg Gutfeld said last week about Donald Trump versus Cory Booker or Adam Schiff. Donald Trump will show up at a football game to watch the Super Bowl or the national championship or the national wrestling championship, UFC. Donald Trump goes there. You will never see a Democrat at any one of those places because everybody would know that they were out of place, that there was a stunt.
Absolutely.
There's nothing authentic about it. And that's what they, and that's why a guy like Abrego Garcia is important to them, but not a 13-year-old who had beaten cancer who wanted to be a cop.
And the vision of that to the mass of the population is just so off base and odd.
Exactly.
When they look at it, they're talking about this whole weird thing before.
Yeah.
But boy, is it weird with we're seeing the contrast between these two storylines. Hey, great talking with you, pal.
Thank you, man. Much pleasure. We'll get to the rest of your phone calls. And don't forget, Ladies' Night is coming up with Mrs. on the Radio. Roseanne will be joining us. Now, let's get some weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. You're right, NASCAR, too. That's where Donald Trump went. I forgot about NASCAR, Mark. Do you do NASCAR?
No.
No?
No.
Do you do any sports at all, like even college basketball or football?
Love college basketball.
I thought so.
Love Major League Baseball. Love NFL. Love I'm in love with the Celtics. I don't like all the NBA stuff, but not a NASCAR
Who's your football
guy.
team? Is it the Patriots?
Oh, yeah, Patriots.
Ah, okay, I figured as much.
I'll go back to Plunkett and all those guys.
Oh,
John
yeah, that's
Hanna,
right. I keep forgetting how
the
old you are.
guys.
I always think that you're as young as me.
Oh God, yeah, I'm a dinosaur. So I remember all those guys. Steve Grogan.
But Steve Grogan, okay. I know more about the old school guys than I knew the new school guys.
Well, aren't you a Jets fan?
Yes.
I thought you were
Okay.
a Jets fan,
Yeah, thank you. Not enough. All right, just put the knife down. Go to traffic.
All right. It is Good Friday. Easy. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you're northbound 91, moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 a little tight over the 384 interchange. Again, some slow traffic. 56 Governor Street into the downtown tunnel out to about 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound's a little slow in the tunnel. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet in Middletown. 91 southbound, you got delays approaching 19 down to exit 17 in Meriden. If you're heading into Waterbury right now, 84 eastbound slow 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is slowing from exit 25A up to the Mixmaster. If you're heading into Danbury right now, 84 eastbound delays 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic 10 to 11 in Newtown. South 95 New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
On the rest of our Friday afternoon, mostly cloudy, breezy, and quite mild with the high up to 66. Cloudy tonight with the low only dropping back to 52. Now Saturday, clouds with some breaks of sun. It'll be breezy and warmer with a couple of showers around, the high up to 83. An evening shower Saturday night, otherwise partly cloudy, the low down to 48. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler on Sunday to round out the weekend with the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
63 degrees, cloudy skies in Hartford at 5 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. We could see low 80s tomorrow. However, right now it's dry out there. The National Weather Service says the forest fire danger level today is high throughout Connecticut. The forecast coming up. President Trump says Secretary of State Marco Rubio is right about walking away if there's no deal soon to end the war in Ukraine.
But the way that we procure, the two utilities procure, is extremely inefficient. We changed that to a much more efficient model. That's additional savings there. And then with respect to the transmission and distribution, but the way that we procure, the two utilities procure, is extremely inefficient. We changed that to a much more efficient model. That's additional savings there. And then with respect to the transmission and distribution system, equally inefficient. All of these things are costing ratepayers more than they should be paying.
Well, that is hard for Democratic State Senator John Fonfara. He says how the state buys its power could be changed to an electric procurement authority. It all begins in talking about Democrats and Republicans at the state capitol appearing together to talk up an energy reform bill. Supporters say it would shave off 20% off electric bills immediately, and that would include moving the reviled public benefits charge to a so-called green bond. The bill is currently in the Finance Committee. Some think its fate should be decided in the Energy Committee. Groton City and State Police spending hours overnight into early this morning conducting an investigation before clearing the scene. They didn't say specifically what they were looking for on Allen Street, only that no body was found. The area isn't far from where human remains were discovered several weeks ago. That has resident Sarah Lambert concerned.
But the way that we procure, the two utilities procure,
the fact that there's so much police presence around right now and the fact that it's right across from where they found the other body, it's just like really scary.
Audio from WFSB. Christians commemorating Good Friday today as Pope Francis continues his recovery from double pneumonia and kidney issues. It's not clear if the 88-year-old pontiff will appear in public to deliver his annual Easter Day message and prayer.
Are we going to see him on Easter? Officially, he's not supposed to make any appearances, but it's become clear now Pope Francis makes those decisions, nobody else.
That's Chris Livesay reporting. Well, what's the most popular Easter candy this year?
What kind of candy do most Americans want in their Easter baskets? According to Instacart, Reese's Peanut Butter Eggs reign supreme. Their top 10 also included a bunch of Cadbury Eggs, Starburst Jelly Beans, Sour Patch Kids, and Chocolate Bunnies. But no Peeps. While the very polarizing Marshmallow Chicks and Bunnies didn't make their nationwide list, Google Trends beg to differ, with Peeps searches over the past month soaring in 35 states. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
In sports, Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway Park. Pregame right here on WTIC 1080 at 6:10. Yankees and Rays in Tampa. Mets hosting the Cards. Reese on the Radio continues up next. We have 63 degrees and cloudy skies in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing business. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced.
Just popped a bag of Oro Redenbacher movie theater butter.
Send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free.
Ensign.
RGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yes, it's ladies' night and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
It's my favorite day of the week now because my wife gets to hang out with me. She says I don't spend enough time with her, so I figured I'd bring her on the radio. This is where I spend most of my time anyway. Ladies' night today, and don't worry, we'll still take your airing of grievances, calls, and everything else, but I do want to hear from the ladies today for Ladies' Night. As I said earlier, this is primarily talking about things that women are compared. I'm not going to talk about knitting or ridiculous things like that. I don't want people to start thinking that I'm being dismissive of women or saying that some stories or things that they concern themselves with are based or ridiculous. This was a question because my wife's sitting here now, and I might as well put her up on camera. She's hanging out with us as a Roseanne cam. There she is. Wave hi to everybody watching online at ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That is my beautiful wife. So today on Ladies' Night, Roseanne and I had a really, really tough conversation in the beginning of our relationship.
Which one?
Yeah, a lot of them. This one in particular. So I want to ask ladies if they've ever had to deal with this in this relationship. Many people have been married multiple times. And Roseanne and I have both been married multiple times. One of the things I had to get used to was her relationship with her last husband, her ex-husband. And I, was introduced to him. We, kicked it off really, really well. And today we argue like cats and dogs. I've even referred to him as my husband-in-law affectionately. Now he's just a radical leftist. But we argue all the time about politics that we get, in a relationship. However, at the time when Roseanne and I got together, my ex-wife, Mary, and I were not having that great of a relationship. And it developed over time. We were finally getting used to the fact that we weren't, together anymore. And the contention sort of weighed itself down. And then Mary and I started to become good friends. And we had come to terms and had
real serious conversations about our marriage, what went wrong, how we could have been better, and decided we were going to be friends. And it's worked out really great. In fact, people who knew us when we were married said, you guys seem to be getting along more today than you did when you were married. But Roseanne did not take it very well. And it was tough. And she really gave me some hell about it. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So if you, as a lady, or even as a guy who's had a relationship with your ex-wife that your spouse wasn't really all that about, I want to hear from you at 860-522-WTIC. Now let's get some weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and with weather, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center, who knows nothing about this because he has only been with one woman since birth.
This is what I say to my wife.
Yeah.
I go, honey, I've been with 9 women, and you're the perfect 10th.
Oh.
That's what I say to her.
Yeah.
And she just looks at
It's
me
a
and goes,
lot of
"You're
cheese."
such a jerk.
Yeah.
Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 57 in East Hartford for the
Can't say that to no black woman.
from 84 over to the 91 ramp in Hartford. Westbound 84 again tied up 56 Governor Street into the tunnel. Eastbound 84, no problems. Farmington out into Vernon. Southbound 91, you've got delays 33 down to 32.
Nor a Spanish woman.
Yeah, no, definitely
just
not.
after exit 20 Country Club Road.
Yeah,
in
I
Middletown,
literally rolled
down
my
to exit
eyes.
17 in Meriden. If you're
Greg
northbound
said, "I
91,
just
easy
threw
right,
up in
Cromwell
my
up
mouth."
into Windsor. 291 over 2 westbound slowing exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. Quiet Middletown. Westbound 84 slows 22 up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury tight by 18. Heading into Danbury, 84 eastbound slowing from 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic up by 11 in Newtown. Westbound 84 Newtown slowing
Boris
9 to
wrote.
7 in Danbury. 95 South New Haven a little tight down by exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, for tonight, it'll be overcast and breezy. Mild, too, with the low only down to 51. Then breezy and warmer Saturday with the clouds and breaks of sun. The high up to 83 for the day, though. Passing evening shower or 2, otherwise partly cloudy, breezy for Saturday night. The low down to 49. Partly sunny, windy and cooler to round out the weekend Sunday with the high 63. Partly sunny Monday again, the high back to 63. Right now, it's 59 in Waterbury, also in New Haven, 58 in Bridgeport. It's 63 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We promise fast, friendly, reliable service. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
Don't let a root canal scare you. Columbia Dental's endodontic experts provide gentle and effective root canal therapy. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
So, you want to buy a house. You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more. This doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rush? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Good morning, Doctor. Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online
1 minute.
A provider who will determine if appropriate.
Thank you, sir.
Apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. Free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
No, drop it? What happened? It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I did say it.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. With, of course, none other than Mrs. on the Radio, Roseanne, joining us on the Roseanne cam, waving to everyone. So, Roseanne, we were saying earlier, of course, at the top of the hour, that, our relationships, we have had relationships with our exes, friendships, if you will. We have gone to them for advice. And the receptiveness or the reception for either of us has been mixed between us. I was much more accepting of the concept.
Were you?
Well, I said...
No, please continue.
Well, no, I said in the beginning when I saw you two, when we first, very early in our dating, I don't think we were dating 2 weeks, because we started dating on June 15th. The first time I met your ex-husband was on July 4th, the date of July 4th, right. So it was 3 weeks in, if anything. And I saw the way in which you communicated. There was a flow, an ebb and flow between you, and the kids were there. And the first thing I said to you was, what did I think of him? And my response was, I felt like an interloper, because you guys still had a dynamic, a family dynamic, that I felt like I was almost intruded, like I was a square peg in a round hole. Right. I didn't belong. And that was because you had years of experience with him, and how could I'm beginning a relationship with you? I understood my position there. Obviously, I wasn't going to have the chemistry that you had with him. So that was interesting. So it's not to say that I didn't get along with him. I just knew my place was out of sorts. But then, of course, things, went on. We even went on vacation together when we were full on into relationship. But my acceptance of him being a part of your life was clearly much easier than it was for you, with Mary being a part of my life as my ex-wife.
Right.
And
I just want to say, first of all, I absolutely, I have no idea what these topics are going to be. So I was completely blindsided. I was not prepared for this today. And I just want to say, Mr. On the Radio, we're going to have a conversation.
What, after. I should preempt you?
Well, no. I mean, just some things that don't necessarily need to be put out in the public. But I digress. Here we are.
Oh, come on. This is a fair discussion. We've talked about this.
I'm going to fight you. I'll fight you later.
Yeah, but it was one of those things, and it's a difficult sort of hurdle.
Right.
It's explainable. And because we have... here's what I'm saying, and what I've noticed about this. You and Mary have spoken over the phone. I'll be on the phone with her, and sometimes you'll be right there, and the two of you will be conversing, sometimes ganging up on me, I might add, which is actually
not hard. It's not hard to do.
Which I find entertaining, because I kind of feel like a relationship between the two of you is somewhat developing, and I like that. Not that, it's not like harem-like. It's just that it's nice to have... where there isn't that uncomfortable
the
where
animosity,
she's my friend. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I completely get it, because, with, God, do I use his name? I don't know what to call him.
The ex.
The ex, yeah. In the beginning, it was, I relied very heavily on his input for several reasons. One, he truly was the best friend I had at the time. And two, we were raising children together. And whoever came into my life needed to be able to interact with my children and with him. Otherwise, it was never going to work.
Correct.
And that was my main priority. And it didn't matter who it was. I would have walked away from this if you and Ellis, or you and I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Doesn't matter.
Or you and the boy didn't get along. It would have been, I would have had to have walked away, because those are the most important relationships in my life until my son is, off doing his own thing.
Yeah. And like I said, it worked out. And I've had so many people come up to me and talk about, of course, my relationship with Mary, and say,
I cannot believe that you guys managed to still be cool with each other after the divorce, because the word divorce immediately is associated with animosity, anger, turmoil, fighting, throwing things, and, enemies is always associated with it. So it's weird to be in there, but it was, again, it's not easy. It doesn't just happen because we're cool people.
Right. Well, so I have to be honest and go back to sort of the beginning as to maybe a little bit of why there was a little bit of resistance on my part. We had met, and I'd known very loosely for a few months, and you'd expressed interest, and we'd spoken on the telephone, and I really, really enjoyed our conversation. But based on circumstances at the time, I was just coming out of a horrific breakup with a different person, and I don't want to get too much into your position, but it was a recipe for disaster,
right?
And I knew that. And so 2 years later, when you showed up at our friend's house to do some planning work for her move, and I saw you, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember, like, he used to like me, like he totally wanted to go out with me. And then our friend was like, oh yeah, well, he and his wife got back together. And I was like, oh, maybe he really didn't like me, or maybe, there's so many different reasons going through my head. And so I always kind of felt like maybe
there was always a spark there that could
reignite.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good point. No. That's, again, and that's funny that you convey that now, because I never understood that, but that's because on my part,
you're a guy.
Exactly.
What do you know?
I'm a guy. As a guy, I didn't read into that, which again is one of the reasons why, and you bring it right back to the reason why I have you here on Fridays and why I'm doing this ladies' night thing, is because as guys, sometimes it's tunnel vision as a guy.
Well, you guys really logic your way through things.
Right.
And this is why, men and women are so beautiful together, right? You logic your way through. You are in a box. You're in a constructed, like, this is it. And women, I like to think of us as the ivy that's growing on the outside walls of the house. We just, wherever we can stick. Like, oh my God, this is so pretty over here. Oh, I like the sun on this part. And we sort of add character and flair, but we're also very connected to the foundation without maybe necessary 100% of the logic. We're very intuitive, very emotion-based, very emotionally driven. So I think we add a little more texture and life, for lack of a better way to put it, to situations. And so where we can feel something intuitively, you guys just don't have that channel. It's just, I don't know if it just wasn't installed. God was like, no, I'm going to play this really cool trick on you guys. Watch this. And he gave us all the feelings, and you guys got,
because again, like I said, I totally should have understood that, and I didn't, and it was completely out of my purview. It's insane. Anyway, so we're going to take some phone calls. I know some other people are calling about some other stuff as well that we addressed, but Roseanne is here. Of course, if you want to ask her a question, you definitely can. About all of this, and as luck would have it, the aforementioned and ex-wife Mary is in the chat room, so she's jumping in there as well. She says, I think this topic is essential for families, especially ones with kids. David said, sounds like someone's gonna get his head handed to him later. Boris says, in my opinion, a relationship should start off, and if it ends in a friendship, it should end in a friendship. If it doesn't work out, well, that's life. No need to be bitter about it. Yeah, good point. I totally agree. Let me see. Moral of the story, guys: play hard to get. I don't know if did I play hard to get?
No, but I did.
Oh, yes, you did. Indeed. Okay. Anyway, some other phone calls are coming in, of course, about other topics. Let's get to them. Kurt is in Bristol. How are you, sir?
I'm well, sir. Thanks. How are you?
Kurt?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you sound far away. I can hear the traffic more than I can hear you.
I'm so sorry.
That's
that
okay.
Better?
Yeah, that's much better, sir. How are you?
All right. I'm sorry. I had headphone earbuds in. At any rate, yes, I'm sorry. I am walking your roadway. I just wanted to call in, compliment you both for both of your courage. You on a daily basis, and the wife for coming in with unannounced topics. You're awesome. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Specifically regard.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And specifically with regard to the divorce topic, I am also divorced, but I'm actually not calling about myself.
Okay.
I remember specifically, I'm also a child of divorce.
Oh. Okay.
My parents were divorced when I was about 10, and I do still recall the acrimony, the bitterness, the fighting, the yelling, and they got divorced, and literally overnight, everything got better. The yelling, the screaming, the fighting, the acrimony, it all went away.
Wow.
And the only real difference in my life was that my dad wasn't sleeping at our house. I saw him every day. When they were in the same place, same time. There was no yelling and screaming. They even went out to celebrate the divorce on a yearly basis for a couple of years.
Really?
On the anniversary of the divorce. Actually, absolutely, hand to God. However, I wish I could tell you that had stayed that way throughout the entire time, but sadly, it did go back the other way.
Even after years of divorce, like being separated from one another, there was growing acrimony after the fact.
That is correct, sir. And,
wow.
and we would take the next 4 shows if I were to get into detail. And,
I totally get it.
So we're not going to do that.
You got it.
But again, kudos to the both of you, not only for being there every day and Mrs. On the Radio when she's there. I don't have the cam. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. I don't even have any doubt, but if I did, I would give her the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you.
At any rate, I appreciate you taking my call.
My pleasure, sir.
I love what I hear, and I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you, Kurt. Much
You keep it
appreciated,
up.
sir. Thank you. We will. You have a wonderful weekend. Let's go before the break. Fulton is in Waterbury. Hey, what's going on, Fulton?
What's happening? How you doing today?
Pretty good, sir.
I wasn't fully prepared there for Roseanne on the Radio, so I wanted to go back and just an optic picture. The picture of the Senator Van Hollen, whatever his name is.
Yes.
It looks like they're at a Marriott Bomboy, and the guy's got like a LL Bean flannel on and a new shirt. That's the inmate, right? Like that's a complete different picture than what it looks like when they were bringing him in an airplane. Everybody had a duck walk and they had their head shaved.
Right. And he's got the head shaved. They put a little, I think he's got like some J. Crew flannel shirt on with a pair of
Like,
jeans.
what's going on? Is that the incarceration down there? It doesn't look that
No,
I don't know.
and it's interesting because what they wanted to show, and I think President Bukele showed or said after that photo op was, okay, folks, nothing to see here. He's fine. He's healthy. Okay. And he's not going back. And, everything, because everyone keeps demeaning his prison as if it's some death camp, right? Some people have even gone so far as to call it a concentration camp. And what he showed there, and everyone who's been down there, they've seen what they've seen. Every one of those, you don't see anybody malnourished. You don't see anybody with any bruises. They haven't been beaten down. Nothing of the sort. You see them with their shirt off, displaying their tattoos. When they're interviewed by certain people down there, there's this one kid who did a blog and an interview and asked them, do they regret being gang members? Crazy enough, guess what a lot of them say? Yes. They say they regret being gang members.
They're the meanest of the mean people. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not your brother, it's not your cousin. It's a mean person that murders people. Like, okay.
Yeah,
he assaulted his wife. He's not a super great guy.
Let me tell you this. This is an interesting part, Fulton. Talk about the narrative here. On one side of the narrative, they tell you when Bill Maher went to the White House, that Washington Post writer was on Real Time with Bill Maher and was arguing that Bill Maher's visit to the White House humanizes Donald Trump. All the while, that same Washington Post reporter was humanizing an MS-13 member. That's what they're doing. You can't humanize Donald Trump, but you can humanize an MS-13 gangbanger who human traffics and beats his wife. Yeah.
It was monstrous stuff.
Exactly. That's all you need to understand.
What's your guys' and if you don't want to get into it, that's fine.
Go for it.
You had like an allegation a while back, and then Was she with you then and she stayed with you, or was she there before?
No, much late. No, Roseanne and I were together much later. My ex-wife Mary was actually with me while I was going through all of that, and both of them have been 100% supportive of me, wholeheartedly. Like I always say, my reputation precedes everything. And
Sure,
but both of them have actually been my rock through both times in my life dealing with that. So, but I appreciate the question.
That's always important when you got stuff going on you like that.
You got it. Yeah, exactly.
So
That's how you know who the real riders are. Thank you, Fulton. I appreciate you. Let's take a break, get some weather and traffic and more. And of course, Mrs. on the radio, Roseanne will join us. Let's get to Jason Caterina with weather and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're going to see delays on the westbound side of 84, approaching the Bulky Bridge into the tunnel. Eastbound 84 looking good. Farmington out into Vernon. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. If you are traveling southbound 91, look for delays in Middletown from 20 down to exit 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway in Meriden. Northbound Parkway a little slow in that construction area between 67 and 68 and an E on the northbound side of the parkway. After that, a 91 northbound moving well Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Westbound 84 is tied up 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound's a little tight in Waterbury by 18. If you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84, got some slow traffic as you move Danbury from exit 5 up to exit 7 on the eastbound side of 84. And 95 South New Haven, a little tight down by exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, mostly cloudy, breezy, and quite mild with the high up to 66. Cloudy tonight with the low only dropping back to 52. Now Saturday, clouds with some breaks of sun. It'll be breezy and warmer with a couple of showers around, the high up to 83. An evening shower Saturday night, otherwise partly cloudy, the low down to 48. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler on Sunday to round out the weekend with the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
62 degrees, cloudy in Hartford at 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. Really warming up for the start of the Easter holiday weekend. The forecast coming up next.
Sort of.
Good Friday as dusk falls over Rome. The Colosseum is transformed into a dramatic stage for a fascinating Easter ritual. A choir taking part in the traditional Good Friday Way of the Cross. Students dropping off balloons and teddy bears at a memorial today near Florida State University's Student Union, where a 20-year-old opened fire, killing 2 men and wounding 6 others. Sadly, one of the victims who was killed is the father of 2. Investigators say the death toll from a boat crash in Congo earlier this week rising to 148, 100 still missing. Sean Diddy Combs appearing in a Manhattan courtroom today for a pretrial hearing. His attorney asking the judge to delay the rapper's sex trafficking trial to begin on May 5th, but the judge said no. Combs pleading not guilty to all federal counts. Harvey Weinstein moved to a New York City hospital after a judge approving the ailing ex-studio boss's request to stay there rather than in jail when he's not in court for his Me Too retrial. What's the top Easter candy this year? According to Instacart, Reese's Peanut Butter Eggs coming in at number 1. Their top 10 also included Cadbury Eggs, Starburst Jelly Beans, Sour Patch Kids, and Chocolate Bunnies. Peeps didn't make the list this year. Red Sox and White Sox tonight at Fenway pregame coming up right here on WTIC 1080 and 610. Yanks and Rays in Tampa. Mets host the Cards. Reese on the Radio continues next. 62 degrees, cloudy in Hartford. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
We all hear the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
I saw that.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck, saluting the broadcaster at 100. Happy birthday, WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm almost certain I did one of those things. I know I did. No one ever plays mine. Do I ever hear? No one ever. I never hear.
You don't have one in here, bro.
Okay, then I've got to record one. Everybody's got one, but except for me. It's insane. Anyway, it's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, Ladies Night here on Reese on the Radio. Like I said, ladies. The reason why I bring my wife in is because, we talk about conversations. Divorce is a big thing. I hear divorce is everywhere. And no matter where you look, and I do believe, like people keep saying, it's always 50%. Divorce is 50% all the time, always ends up in divorce. What they never tell you is that the divorce rates have gone down and they've stayed sort of stagnant over and over again. And, I think what's really hurting the numbers? Do you know what's hurting the marriage numbers?
Gay men?
No.
Oh,
no, they stay longer than most.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's hurting the divorce rates.
Oh, no. What's hurting marriage rates is the divorce rates of
women.
Lesbian couples.
Yeah.
And people think that's controversial. It isn't. The numbers are there. And,
Listen, any woman who lives inside of her own head recognizes that there is... I could never be with another woman. Like, I know what it's like. This is a mess. I couldn't. No. Like, the words are absent. That's just too. No.
Wow. I don't, like I said, I tried. I don't want to reduce women to this sort of based, ridiculous thing. But you said something to me a long time ago. We'll talk about this a little bit as well. And I think it was a contributing factor to the discussion we're talking about it, but getting used to or getting familiar or even friendly with exes on opposite sides. You said this one line to me that blew my mind. And that was, do you know what it's like inside my brain? And I was like, what? And you said, if I were a computer, it would be like having 100 tabs open at the same time.
And they're all playing different audio and music and videos and commercials and yeah.
And I did not, when you said that, I went, what? And when this whole discussion, you see it on TikTok videos and other sort of comedy sketches, when they ask a guy, what's he thinking? And the guy says nothing. And guys immediately identify with that guy. Who's like, yeah, that's me. Women always say, is this true? And you go, yeah. It's like, yeah. And we're looking at you.
And we secretly hate you for it.
You know what? Let me give you an inside track to this. And I know guys are going to be upset with me for telling this. It's not that we're thinking of nothing. There probably is something we're thinking of. But it's probably not relevant. Like, we are thinking of stuff like, should I do the lawn tomorrow? Or maybe I should look at the carburetor. Like, we call that nothing.
I'm having 7 conversations in my head with different people from my past or make-believe or things I shoulda, coulda, woulda, fake job interviews. I mean, all kinds
Fake
of
job
fake job.
interviews?
Heck yeah. I'm like applying to be like some, rich person's personal shopper. Give me your credit card. I'll go buy you stuff. Like these, I mean, and we talked about this, the most ridiculous time I think the time that offended you the most is when we are intimate. And I'm literally going through a list of things. What happened yesterday? What happened today? What's going to happen tomorrow? Like, I'm not always there. I'm there, but there's other stuff happening. I don't know how to turn this off.
Stop? You're hurting the hell out of me.
It's hard being a woman because you guys I call you Pillow Man because you fall asleep the second you hit a pillow. I will lay there for an hour trying to get this thing to shut up. It's hard.
I have to go to a break. This is awful. This is awful. He's not even interested in me. That's
not
what
true.
What's my ego going to do with that? Anyway, it's time to move on. Let's get to another traffic and weather update with Jason Catarinas with weather and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. I'll recover, Mark, please.
When did you stop loving me?
That is one of the most heartfelt songs I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Marvin
thanks.
Gaye's "When Did You Stop Loving Me?"
Yeah.
When did I stop loving you?
Apparently,
And
when she started thinking about 5 different things at the same time.
Yeah, really. Oh boy. This is so sad. If you're heading into Hartford right now, much better. Southbound 91, just some slow traffic, 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, you're tied up from exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown all the way down to exit 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching the Boakley Bridge. 84 eastbound, no problems as you move Farmington out into Vernon. 291 through 84, okay, 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 84 westbound slows 22 up to the Mixmaster, 84 eastbound slowing by 18. If you are traveling into New Haven, 91 of the Parkway moving well. Southbound on the 95, a little slow as you move down by 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods.
This week at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods, local hickory smoked spiral cut hams for $3.99 per pound. Plus, this week's color, locally grown potted hyacinths, tulips, and Easter daffodils are $7.99 each or 3 for $22. For more savings, visit StuLeonards.com.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, overcast and breezy, mild to the low only down to 51. Breezy and warmer Saturday, clouds and breaks of sun. Pollen levels going to be sky high, the high up to 83. Saturday night, a passing evening shower or two, otherwise partly cloudy, breezy, still mild to the low down to 49. Partly sunny, windy, and cooler to round out the weekend Sunday and Monday, the high of 63 both days.
The best husband ever.
Currently, it is,
I like your shirt.
54 in New London, 61 in Mansfield, 63 in Bristol, also
next week you'll
63
wear
in
the daddy
Hartford.
shirt?
I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the
What's
WTIC Weather Center.
No.
Hi, Eric Hogarth, Money Wisdom. This week we're going to talk about very, very important things in retirement and life planning. Wills, estates, do I need it? What can I do? Tune in this Saturday at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drinking water is supposed to be odorless and colorless. If yours isn't, it probably doesn't taste good either. Joe the Plumber will test your water, then recommend the right water treatment systems or filter. That's something we can all raise a glass to. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Did you hear?
A recent stash of
Come on, man.
Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're going to get to the phones very quick, but I've got Mrs. on the Radio on the show. And if you want to check out the show live, go to reasoontheradio.com. There's something I'm doing now that you can actually go to reasoontheradio.com to go get the rebroadcast of the show about an hour or so afterwards. Also, go to my Facebook page. I have an idea to do what's called the Reese on the Radio Ride, a bike riding charitable event in Connecticut in the fall. I want to start it this year. And I want to see if there's an interest in it. If you show me you're interested in by going to the Facebook page, just give me your comments, something that you would, and then I will share it with the brass here at WTIC and see if we can actually do it. I think it's about 20 miles would be a good one to do and get everyone, like sponsors, people would sponsor it about $5 a mile. And that would be sort of like your contribution to the ride. And at the end, we'll probably get it, get a bakery, perhaps between rounds, somebody like that to do some food or drinks at the end of it. We'll have speakers and a whole bit, and we'll make a whole weekend out of it. So, if you're interested, go to the Facebook page. You'll see it. It's the Reese on the Radio Ride. Tell me your interest, and we'll get to, we'll see if we can get someone interested, maybe even some sponsors. Let's get to the phone lines. I want to quickly go to the aforementioned ex-wife who called over the phone. She was very excited to call in. Mary, why you bugging? That's what we used to call her back in the early radio days of my podcasting. How we doing, Mary?
I am fabulous.
Hey,
Happy
Mary.
Friday. Happy Good Friday. Hi, Roseanne. I'm so glad that you decided to bring this topic up. As I just want to let all your listeners know that I'm the one that gave you this topic. But anyway.
It was her idea.
No, I really...
We'll talk about that later,
I really
too.
do think that this is an important topic because I think that there are so many, especially like I said in the chat, with people that have children. Now, although Reese and I, we had a son, he passed away. Roseanne has kids that she is, that she's, they're growing, getting ready to graduate high school next month or in a month or two. Congratulations to him. And she's got daughters, too. But anyway, I'm not going to tell her personal business, but I think that this is very important because
You already did.
it really leads to a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of sorrow. And I think that kids get the brunt end of the stick.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important for people to communicate and be able to potentially have either blended families or at least individual relationships where you can co-parent or you can even just exist in each other's worlds without having all this animosity. And it's not healthy for us all that with us all our lives anyway.
It's an important thing.
That
It's an important thing, Mary. You might remember this because I remember I had this sort of falling out with a woman who had taken care of Caleb for a little while. And I remember her having a conversation with me who said that she had asked me if I was upset that, that he had formed a relationship with her. And I looked at her and I said, why would any loving father who cares about his children be angry about him having more love in his life? Mm-hmm. What kind of cretin would do that? And I think that's the point to what you're bringing up is having that extended family. Who would look poorly on someone having more love in their life instead of less? Like you can decide to be
angry at each other, have animosity, refuse to talk to one another. Why separate yourself or keep yourself from having more love and care and people who care about you in your life, who can give you advice, who can help you if you're in a bad way?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to bring up too, is, you have to love your kids more than any hatred you have for another. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. How do you not love your children enough to be cordial and respectful to the other parent?
Yeah.
Because the kids are looking at this, and my biggest takeaway from this, the thing I wanted my kids to take away from this was, mommy and daddy can get divorced, and we can love the other person that comes into mommy or daddy's life, and that not be some sort of threat to the other parent.
Right.
I adore my ex-husband's wife. I think she is just awesome. She's this feisty little fiery little German woman. She's freaking adorable too. You know what I mean? And she spends a great deal of time with my son. Why would I want my son to have, feeling like if he's loving and kind to her, he's disloyal to me, but also, am I going to teach him to be a jerk to her? If I'm teaching him to be negative to her, what does that teach him about going off into the real world?
Right.
And then if and when he ends up divorcing himself, I need him to have a foundation of how to do this like a grown-up.
Good point.
I'm trying to raise a young man to be an adult, not a big giant man baby.
That's a good point. Mary, last word before I let you go.
Exactly. I hope that you will continue this, because I do, in my eyes, I think this is an important topic. And I hope that you'll do like maybe a series, because I don't think that one show can really touch on the seriousness of really getting through this and coming out good on the other end.
Yeah.
Because it's way more in detail than what we've touched on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's difficult to do it in such a short span of time. But thank you, Mary, as usual, and thank you for the topic. You are, like I said, you are the impetus of this, and it was a great idea.
And I just want to say
Yes.
that I love you guys together.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That means
Like, you are each other's person.
yeah.
He's my lobster.
And I love that. I love that for both of you.
Okay, she's crying now.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
Not you. I was talking about Mary.
No.
Both of you do.
Because it makes me happy to know that you're happy. You know what I mean? And she makes you happy, and that makes me happy. And yes, does that make me cry because I'm a freaking crybaby? Of course. But
I appreciate you,
that
man.
makes me happy to see her happy too, because everyone deserves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him he was happy. That's why he's happy, because I told him he had to be. So
He has no choice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Goodbye, Mary. Thank you, dear. I really appreciate
You
it.
guys have a happy Easter.
Thank you.
You too. Bye, Mary.
Let's go to Jane in Bloomfield. Hey, Jane, how are you?
Reese, before I say anything, I'm going to say Happy Easter to both you and Roseanne.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also want to say that's a good idea, that bike ride.
Yes.
The minute you said that, I would love to do that. That would be fun. And I don't do Facebook, but I guess I could try to find out more information.
No, that's
and
fine.
Another thing, Christine. You know Christine.
Sure.
I did not know that you got to meet her in person. I'm jealous.
No.
Christine is my friend.
Oh,
my friend.
No, I'm almost certain. Did we hang out with Christine twice? Yes, Christine. I've hung out with Christine twice. Once over the Christmas holiday in Avon, and then she came out to Farmington to hang out as well. So yes, of course. Christine, good friend, big friend of the show.
You know, Christine was the one that got me turned on to listen to you. And I said, I didn't realize that you even got, to meet her. I'm jealous.
Oh, well, I promise you will get to meet her. She's an all-around person, and she's everywhere. That much I can tell you about Christine. She's motivated. She is anywhere and everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, Jane.
I know. And wait.
Yes,
Before
yes,
you
yes.
hang up,
Yes, ma'am.
Roseanne, can I ask you one quick question?
Absolutely.
Is it true that your husband makes a better cup of coffee than you?
Oh my God,
than
yes.
you?
So I call it he
Oh,
makes me
God.
breakfast every morning, and breakfast consists of the perfect cup of coffee every morning. And if I'm being perfectly honest, it's 3 cups for me every morning.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, the next time you come to Connecticut, Roseanne, I want to make sure that he gives me a good one of his good cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's my wife.
Thank you.
That-
Okay.
my wife pimping out my my coffee services, because that's about all the cooking that happens in the world.
He's not joking.
Yeah. Let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Reese, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
And is it Roseanne or Rosanna?
It is Roseanne. It is just Roseanne.
Hi, Roseanne.
Hi.
All right, so I just wanted to say, Roseanne, when us guys, we got that look on their face, we're not thinking about nothing.
Glossed over look.
Yeah, it looks like we're in a coma. That's when the wheel gets invented.
That, my friend, is the best. There you go. 100% right. That thinking, that errant thinking where the mind goes numb and we're thinking about nothing, you're absolutely right. That's how the wheel gets made.
That's why most inventors are men, because you can shut it off and random thoughts pop in.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's how you got flight.
We got nothing else going on. There's something in there, but you guys don't see it.
It's the voice of God. We'll just call it that. Occasionally, God's like, "Oh, I got one for you." That's what happens.
Because we're a blank slate. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated, sir. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, you too.
You got it. Steve's in Waterbury. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, I'm just got three quick things. I'm doing well. First of all, I'm saving myself for marriage.
All right.
Second of all, I think that you and Roseanne should just go to an airport someplace where they have an inexpensive flight, fly someplace unknown, just go a random thing. I think that'd be kind of cool. But the last thing I want to say is that if somebody starts a relationship, my best advice would be to be yourself from begin to end. If you do something in the beginning, you should do it in the end.
That's right.
And if there's something you need to change about yourself, don't pretend not to be something. Improve yourself.
You're 100% right,
Absolutely.
Steve. I appreciate you. Thank you for the call, Steve.
All
Do
right,
we
right
do
back
we
at
do
you.
we
Happy
have
Easter.
you? Thank you, but do we have you on the list yet for a dozen bagels yet?
No, but I mean, that's kind of a little bit out of my jurisdiction. If somebody else could grab it, that'd be.
Well, you know what? How about this? We'll give you an opportunity to donate them. We'll make you our last but not least caller of the day. Why not? Okay?
That'd be awesome.
You got it. Stay on the hold. Stephen Waterbury, he is our last but not least caller of the day. He will receive a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, or of course, whoever he chooses, to give them to, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. So, okay, so Roseanne, you've been doing a bike ride thing with me.
Yes.
And we did 12 miles.
I convinced you to go an extra mile. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why, but, at the end of it, you said that your butt hurt and, sitting on that really harsh.
Well, so let's be honest. You have more cushion in that area than I do. I have
Fair.
very pronounced what's called sits bones. So my bones in my backside are very, I'm bony, folks. There's another way to put it. I am bony. It's a tremendous amount of pressure on my backside. So
Right.
it does. I'm pretty numb until I stand up.
Right.
And it's painful.
It's
Very
painful.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michelangelo, he actually sent us a text, and he said that there are paddings that they have in shorts that you can buy. He said not to get anything too thick. He said something, moderate. He goes, but you will get over it after constant use. So it's something that's not going to affect us very long. Are we going to do another 12 miles today?
I think so. Yeah. Maybe I can convince you to do 14. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm really enjoying this. What do you think of the idea of the Reese On The Radio ride?
I think it's great. Have we narrowed down a charity?
No, we haven't figured that out yet. But Craig in the car says he has some ideas on where we can do this. So I'm going to talk to him later as well. Laura says that you need proper cycling shorts, Miss Roseanne. Yes, you will. You will like it. Okay, I'm not sure, but anyway. But I think that this is a good idea because a lot of people do these rides, and I think that it's very family friendly.
Right. I can see a bunch of kids with little tricycles
Exactly.
and training wheels and little puppies running alongside. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, she's an avid cyclist, Laura said. So Laura, you're perfect. So we'd love your opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'd love your opinion on this bike
I need
ride.
something that differentiates, like spreads the pressure out a little bit more, so I'm not just on my bones. Like,
Right.
it really is just
now,
the
20
bones.
miles is a lot. Now that I think of it, because you and I, we did 10 yesterday.
We did 12 yesterday.
We did 12 yesterday. I apologize. So, and that took us about an hour and a half, but we did not have just flat surfaces.
Right.
We had to, if you go to my Facebook page, you see that there's some structural weirdness going on with hairpin turns and all that other stuff.
And steep. It's really steep.
And really steep.
Yeah.
So, but if it's a flat surface, in and around, I'm thinking 20 miles would be perfect, because then it's not like we're forcing people to, it's not like a marathon where you're trying to get time in or anything like that. Everybody can go at their own pace. And at the end, you show up and, maybe there's entertainment, maybe there are speakers,
Everybody should wear Reese on the Radio T-shirts or Scallywag T-shirts.
We shouldn't do all of that. That's
I don't
just
know.
insane.
Just
But
saying.
if you're interested and you think it's a good idea, join me on Facebook. Go to Reese on the Radio. If you can't find Reese on the Radio on Facebook, go to reasoontheradio.com. Go to our Facebook page and then click there. You'll see the little post. It's got a little logo there that I invented last night with my phone. If you're interested, let us know. We want to share that with the folks at WTIC and see if we can get that done. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow, and a fantastic weekend. We will see you on the Sunday show and then back here on Monday. Jason Caterina's got more of your weather, which is going to be great this weekend. And Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Have a great weekend, Mark.
Same to you, Reese. Thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32. And
All right, madam and sir.
slowing again in Middletown.
All right, how did
from
that work?
20
That was
Country
much
Club Road
better?
Down to 17 for the Wilbur.
Yeah, that was much better.
Okay,
And
it's
an E
longer than
and the
short, right?
construction.
Yeah. You want the full hour to.
Yeah.
If you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to do those calls that you did. So.
Yeah, there you go.
2 eastbound
Perfect.
looking well, Glastonbury to
sick of me
Marlboro,
yet?
quiet Middletown, Waterbury 84
We'll find out.
westbound slowing 20.
Who?
She said they're not sick of me yet. I'm like, I don't
Oh,
know.
no,
We'll
they're
find
not
out.
gonna be sick of you.
Moving very well. Traffic
All right,
and
boss
weather
man. See you
together
on
on the
Monday.
8th.
Happy Easter.
Thank you, man.
Happy
You too.
Easter. See you later.
Okay. Yeah, Reese on the Radio bike rally. I like the Reese on the Radio ride, but that's not a horrible thing. 20 miles is not that bad, Boris says. One of my ex-girlfriends did 100-mile donation runs. Wow. I don't think we can do all that. You need a little conditioning. Yes, that's the reason why I'm doing a moderate amount. I think kind of 20 miles is, and the reason why I say 20 miles is because you can get like your avid bike rider as well as somebody who's done it for the first time. And they can go at their own pace. They can walk some, but riding 20 miles is not all that bad. It's a pretty good distance, but we'll talk about it. We're going to have to find a place where we can do 20 miles that's sort of flat land. Lori says, another great week of Reese on the Radio. Thank you. Much appreciated. And you have a happy Easter as well. All of you have a wonderful Easter. Wave goodbye, Roseanne.
Bye, Roseanne.
You're so funny. God bless you guys. I love you.